The world you know, the one of flashing screens, urgent notifications, and the relentless hum of modern life, does not exist here. Forget the schedules, forget the expectations that pull at your sleeves every single day. Instead, imagine yourself standing at the edge of a deep, moss-covered forest in Nara. The air here is different. It is cool, damp, and smells of ancient cedar and damp earth. You have walked a long, winding path away from the village, leaving the chatter of humanity behind until the only sounds left are the wind shifting through the canopy and the soft, crunching sound of your own footsteps on a carpet of pine needles. Go out ahead, the trees part just enough to reveal a structure that has stood for over 1100 years. It is a quiet temple, a wooden sanctuary cradled by the mountainside, built not for show but for the cultivation of absolute unwavering silence. You are about to step inside. The threshold is worn smooth by centuries of pilgrims who came seeking the same thing you are looking for now, a way to stop the turning of the world and finally truly breathe. As you cross the threshold, the temperature drops. The sunlight, once bright and sharp, is now filtered through aged paper screens, turning the interior of the temple into a sanctuary of amber and soft, muted shadows. You are standing in the inner sanctum. It is a place of profound stillness, where the very atmosphere feels thick, rich, and heavy with the weight of time. There are no crowds here. There is only the subtle, fragrant bloom of sandalwood incense rising in lazy, swirling plumes that drift toward the darkened rafters. In the center of the room, you see him, an acolyte, dressed in robes of simple dark indigo. He moves with such deliberate grace that he seems to be gliding, his presence barely disturbing the stillness of the room. He is not performing a task, he is performing a ceremony of existence. He approaches the stone altar, his hands steady, his gaze fixed on the small delicate arrangement of incense sticks he is about to attend to. Everything in this room serves a singular purpose, to remind you that peace is not something you find in the future, but something you create in the present. The silence here is not empty, it is full. It is full of the memory of every prayer whispered within these walls since the year 1100. As you watch the acolyte, you notice the rhythmic, almost hypnotic nature of his movements. He does not rush, he does not hesitate. Each action is a conscious choice, a commitment to beauty and precision. You begin to feel your own shoulders drop, your jaw unclench, and the frantic pace of your thoughts begin to mirror the slow, measured pace of the tempo. This is the art of the sanctuary. It is the practice of letting go of everything that does not belong in this moment. You are safe here. You are anchored. You are in a space where time has lost its edge, leaving only a vast, expansive calm that invites you to stay, to observe, and to simply be. This sanctuary was constructed in an era when the world was vast and unknown, and the temple was the only anchor for the spirit. Massive, unvarnished pillars of hinoki cypress hold up the roof, their grain showing the passage of centuries. These pillars have seen dynasties rise and fall, yet they remain unmoved, just as they will remain unmoved for centuries to come. You are stepping into a lineage of quietude. As you settle into this space, I want you to feel the transition, the noise of your day, the unfinished tasks, the lingering worries, the digital noise is being left outside, locked beyond the heavy wooden doors. Inside there is only the scent of the wood, the soft light, and the grace of the acolyte. We are about to witness the delicate work of arranging the incense, an act that marks the passage of hours in the most gentle way imaginable. Allow yourself to be drawn into this rhythm. Let the incense smoke be your guide, winding its way through the air, carrying away the tension of your day. You have arrived at the heart of the forest temple. You have arrived at peace. As you stand within the inner sanctum, your senses begin to recalibrate. The initial shock of the silence has faded, replaced by an acute awareness of the subtle textures of this space. The tatami mats beneath your feet are woven with a precision that speaks of long-standing tradition, their straw scent blending harmoniously with the lingering aroma of the sandalwood. There is a profound dignity in this room, an architectural integrity that commands respect without demanding it. You notice how the light filtered through the aged shoji screens does not simply illuminate the room. It seems to hold the space in a gentle embrace, highlighting the dust motes that drift lazily like tiny stars in a dark, quiet galaxy. The acolyte continues his work, his movements so fluid and unhurried that he seems to be in dialogue with the very atmosphere of the temple. He reaches for a small lacquered box, his fingers brushing the surface with a familiarity born of years of daily devotion. Within the box lie the incense sticks, thin and fragile, yet each one represents a bridge between the physical and the spiritual. He selects one, his grip light yet unwavering. There is no tremor in his hands, no destruction in his expression. For him, the task of placing a single stick into the bronze holder is the most important thing in the world. It is a moment of total immersion. You observe the way he pauses before the incense reaches the holder, a tiny, deliberate breath taken in silence. It is as if he is inviting the universe to settle, to align with the intention of his offering. You find yourself mirroring that breath, inhaling the crisp, woody scent that promises purification and calm. The outside world, with its frantic pace and endless demands, feels like a dream you have long since woken from. Here, the only reality is the slow, circular drift of smoke and the stillness that rests in the gaps between your own thoughts. Consider the age of these pillars. In the year 1100, the artisans who carved these logs from the forest nearby likely never imagined that their work would become a sanctuary for a weary mind in the 21st century. They carved with a belief in permanence, a belief that beauty, if crafted with enough intention, could withstand the erosion of time. And they were right. As you trace the lines of the wood with your eyes, you feel a connection to that distant past. You are a participant in a long, unbroken lineage of seekers who have stood in this exact spot, perhaps seeking the same relief from their own burdens. The wooden bowl on the stone altar, which you noticed earlier, rests in a pool of shadow. It is simple, unadorned, and yet it holds a gravity that feels absolute. When the acolyte eventually tips it, the sound will not be a harsh intrusion, but a resonance that ripples through the silence, anchoring the room in the present moment. Your mind, so used to the constant stream of stimulation, may at first struggle with this lack of activity. You might feel the itch to check for something, to anticipate a change, to look for a dramatic shift in events. But that is the challenge of the sanctuary. The reward comes when you stop anticipating and start inhabiting. The beauty of this temple is that it refuses to entertain your anxiety. It remains steady, indifferent to your urge for speed. It asks only for your presence. As the acolyte leans forward to place the first stick, notice the angle of his posture. He is perfectly centered, his spine straight, his shoulders relaxed. He is not just tidying an offering area, he is centering himself within the architecture of the temple. You are invited to do the same. Find your own center. Sit with the heaviness of your own body. Feel the support beneath you and let the quiet wash over you like a tide. The patterns of light shifting on the floorboards are the only clock that matters here. As the sun traverses the sky, the shadows in the room stretch and retreat, marking time not in seconds or minutes, but in the gradual natural progression of the day. This is a pace that the human heart recognizes instinctively, even if the modern mind has forgotten how to honor it. You are returning to a rhythm that is built into the landscape, a rhythm that knows no stress. As you watch the second stick being added to the holder, observe the subtle change in the incense trail. It is now two streams of smoke intertwining as they rise, a visual representation of the dance between the earth and the heavens. It is mesmerizing, an endless shifting loop of grace that requires nothing from you. You do not need to analyze it or understand it. You only need to let it be, to let it exist as a testament to the value of stillness. You are becoming part of the sanctuary, woven into the fabric of the temple, a quiet observer of a peace that is and always will be waiting for you whenever you choose to step inside. The silence is deepening now, wrapping around you like a soft, heavy blanket. And for the first time in a long time, there is nowhere else you need to be. As the second stick of incense finds its place, you notice how the smoke begins to layer in the air. It is not just a smell, it is a presence, a thin, fragrant veil that softens the sharp edges of the wooden surroundings. The acolyte pulls back, his movements so rhythmic and practiced that they seem to belong to the very architecture of the temple. He does not turn away, but remains standing for a moment, his gaze resting on the small glowing embers of the incense. This is the moment of connection, for him and for you. This is the bridge between the noise of the external world and the deep, resonant quiet of the internal one. You might notice the small, fine hairs on your arms standing up, or a softening in the muscles of your neck. These are the physical signals of a body finally letting go of its defensive posture. You are being invited to sink deeper into the experience, to allow the sanctuary to hold you entirely. If you have been carrying the weight of responsibilities, anxieties, or the echoes of conversations that happened hours or even days ago, this is the time to let them drift away like the smoke itself. They have no place here. They are not invited into the sanctuary. Now is the perfect time to commit yourself to this stillness by subscribing to our journey, ensuring that every time you need to return to this sanctuary, you can find your way back to this quietude through our updates. By joining us, you are not just watching, you are building a habit of peace, a ritual of returning to the source of your own calm. The temple garden outside, though you cannot see it fully from where you sit, begins to reveal its presence through sound. You hear it now, a faint rhythmic dripping. It is a bamboo spout, a shishi odoshi, catching water until it tilts, strikes the stone with a soft resonant thud and returns to its position. This sound is the heartbeat of the garden. It is predictable, steady, and infinitely calming. It acts as a metronome for your breath. Inhale with the anticipation of the drip. Exhale with the soft, woody sound of the impact. This connection to the natural world is a vital part of the healing process offered by the temple. In the modern age, we are often disconnected from these small, consistent natural cycles. We live in a world of erratic alerts and unpredictable interruptions. But here, the bamboo spout reminds you that there is a power in consistency. There is a safety in knowing that the water will continue to drip, that the wood will continue to hold, and that the incense will continue to burn. Observe the acolyte again. He turns slightly to pick up a small brush made of soft, natural fibers. He approaches the space around the altar not to sweep away dirt, but to honor the space by keeping it pristine. There is something profoundly moving about his dedication. He does not rush to finish. He treats the cleaning itself as a form of prayer. His hand moves in a wide, sweeping arc, his body swaying gently from the hips. He is working with the grain of the wood, respecting the history of the materials beneath his hands. You can almost feel the texture of the old wood through his movements. It is rough, in some places smoothed by generations of touch in others. This is the life of the temple, a living, breathing entity that changes only in the slowest, most imperceptible ways. You are a guest in this life. You are a witness to a routine that is older than you and will likely outlast you. This realization should not bring you sadness, but rather a profound sense of relief. You are a small, temporary part of something vast and enduring. Your problems, your worries, your fleeting ambitions, they too are small and temporary. They do not need to define your existence. As the acolyte finishes with the brush, he sets it down with a sound so quiet it is almost imperceptible. The silence that follows is thicker than before. It is a silence that invites you to look inward. What are you holding on to that you could set down here? Is it a judgment of yourself? Is it a fear of what comes next? Imagine placing those burdens onto the wooden altar, letting them be consumed by the same gentle heat that releases the sandalwood fragrance. The incense is designed to transform. It takes a solid object and turns it into scent, into memory, into something that fills the room without taking up space. You can perform this same transformation with your thoughts. You can take the solid, heavy weight of your worries and allow them to evaporate in the heat of your own focused awareness. You are here, you are breathing, and the temple is holding you. The world outside is still turning, but it is moving at a different speed. I want to go out here. You are free to slow down to the speed of the incense smoke, to the speed of the dripping water, to the speed of your own quiet heart. The peace you feel now is yours to keep, a resource you can draw upon even when you leave this place, simply by remembering the steady, fragrant bloom of the incense and the soft, rhythmic grace of the acolyte's steady hand. You are being recalibrated, slowly, gently, until you are once again in harmony with the natural, steady pulse of life itself. The sanctuary is still here, waiting in the deep green heart of the Nara forest. The atmosphere inside the sanctum has shifted. The air is now heavy with the perfume of sandalwood, a scent that seems to coat the lungs with a feeling of ancient cleanliness. You watch as the acolyte moves to the far side of the altar. He does not look back at you. He is entirely absorbed in his duty, a state of being that is both solitary and profoundly communal. By dedicating himself to this space, he is maintaining a bridge for all of us. He is the guardian of the stillness, the one who ensures that the flame remains lit and the incense remains arranged, even when no one else is watching. This level of devotion is rare. It asks for nothing in return. It is a pure, distilled form of service. As you observe him, try to release the part of your mind that constantly evaluates and critiques. Forget about how long you have been sitting or whether you are doing meditation correctly. There is no correct way to be here. There is only the invitation to exist. Notice how the sunlight has shifted its position on the tatami mats. It has moved perhaps an inch, a tiny crawling progress that marks the steady transit of the afternoon. This is the only clock that matters here, the movement of the heavens reflected on the floor. It is a reminder that we are all subject to the same cosmic rhythm, regardless of our personal deadlines or stresses. The acolyte reaches into a small iron basin, his hands moving with a practiced, gentle economy of motion. He is adjusting the position of the bronze incense burner. Even the placement of the vessel is deliberate. It is set at an angle that catches the light just so, allowing the bronze to glow with a dull, earthy luster. Every object in this room has been placed with the intention of creating harmony. You are part of that harmony now. Your presence, even as a silent observer, is woven into the balance of the room. As he stands there, the acolyte pauses, his hands resting on his knees. He is not doing anything. He is simply resting in the stillness. It is a masterclass in the art of being still. Often, when we try to be quiet, we are still fighting against our own impulses to move or to think. But the acolyte shows us a different way, a way of being fully comfortable in the void. He is not waiting for the next task. He is fully present in the current one. You can learn from this. When you feel that sudden urge to check your phone or to distract yourself, try to pause instead. Just for a heartbeat, ask yourself what is happening right now, in this exact moment, that requires my attention. If the answer is nothing, then allow yourself the gift of that nothingness. It is in the nothingness that the nervous system finally gets the signal that it is safe to downregulate, that it is okay to stop scanning for threats or problems. The sounds of the forest have become more apparent now. Perhaps a bird chirps in the distance, a sharp, clear note that punctuates the low-frequency hum of the temple. The wind moves through the surrounding cedars, a sound like a distant sea rising and falling in waves. These sounds are not disturbances, they are the soundtrack of the sanctuary. They confirm that the temple is alive, connected to the world, even while it remains isolated from it. You are starting to feel the fatigue of your day draining away. It is as if the floorboards are absorbing the tension from your legs, pulling it down into the earth, where it can be neutralized. You are becoming lighter. The air you breathe feels clearer, more energizing. The sandalwood, which was initially just a scent, now feels like a part of your own consciousness. You are breathing it in, and it is filling you with a sense of clarity and quiet purpose. There is a deep underlying resilience in this temple. It has survived the humidity of the Nara summers, the bitter cold of the winters, and the shifting fashions of human history. It has remained a constant. Think about the resilience you possess within yourself. You have also weathered storms. You have also stood your ground through periods of change and uncertainty. By sitting here, you are honoring that resilience. You are acknowledging that, like the temple, you have a foundation that is deeper than the surface level events of your life. The acolyte now begins to turn toward the back of the room, his robes creating a soft whispering sound against the mats. He is preparing for the next stage of his cycle. You don't need to know what that is. You don't need to anticipate what happens next. You only need to remain in this moment, held by the silence and the scent of the incense, knowing that you're exactly where you need to be. The sanctuary is not a place you visit. It is a place you carry with you, a state of grace you can cultivate whenever the world feels too loud. Keep breathing, keep watching the smoke. You are anchored. The stillness within the inner sanctum is not a void, it is a weight, a comforting, velvet pressure that presses gently against your skin. You are becoming accustomed to the rhythm of this space. The initial urge to fill the silence with internal monologue or projected scenarios has largely dissipated, leaving behind a curious, open space in your mind. This is the state of receptive attention. Go out here. You are not reacting to the world. You are simply allowing the world to exist in your field of perception. The acolyte, who now moves toward a corner of the altar to retrieve a small vessel of water, acts as a conductor for this flow. He handles the vessel with a reverence that borders on the sacred, holding it as if it were a precious relic. Even the simple act of pouring water from one vessel to another becomes a ceremony of grace. You watch the water clear and cool, catching the amber light as it travels through the air. The sound it makes as it meets the interior of the bronze basin is delicate, a crystalline note that echoes faintly against the wooden walls. This interaction with the elements, wood, water, incense, and light, is the language of the temple. In 1100, these were the materials of life, the primary components of a daily existence that was deeply tuned into the cycles of nature. Today, we often look at these things as commodities or scenery, but here, they are teachers. They remind us that the fundamental things in life are simple, yet they possess a depth that is inexhaustible. Think of the water you use each day. When was the last time you truly appreciated its texture, its temperature, or the sound it makes? When we elevate the mundane to the level of the sacred, we transform our experience of reality. We stop seeing the world as a series of obstacles and start seeing it as a series of opportunities for awareness. The acolyte understands this intuitively. Every drop of water he touches is part of the temple's ongoing prayer. By observing him, you are being invited into this same transformation. As he replaces the water vessel, the acolyte pauses again, looking toward the shoji screens. The light outside has changed. It is softer now, indicating that the afternoon is beginning its long, slow retreat into twilight. The transition is subtle, almost imperceptible, yet it changes the mood of the room entirely. The shadows are deepening, turning from soft gray to a rich meditative violet in the corners of the sanctum. This shift is a gentle reminder of the impermanence that defines all of human life. Nothing remains the same for long. The light changes, the incense burns down, the water is consumed. But this impermanence is not something to fear. It is the very mechanism that makes life beautiful. Because the moment is fleeting, it is precious. Because the light is shifting, we pay closer attention to the way it falls across the tatami. We are being trained in the art of appreciation. You feel a profound sense of security here, even though you are sitting in a room that is over a millennium old. You feel no anxiety about the age of the structure or the isolation of the forest. The wooden pillars, thick and sturdy, feel like sentinels guarding your peace. They have held up this roof through centuries of storms, through earthquakes, through the changing of dynasties. They are immovable and you are sheltered by their strength. Use this as a metaphor for your own inner life. What are the pillars that hold up your sense of self? What are the values or beliefs that have remained constant even when the world around you was in turmoil? You might find that your own foundation is stronger than you realized. You too have a capacity for durability that is rooted in your own internal structure. The temple is just a mirror, reflecting back to you the quiet, unshakable strength that you already possess. As you sit, notice the cadence of your breathing. It has slowed to match the stillness of the room. It is no longer a task to breathe. It is a spontaneous rhythmic occurrence. You are being supported by the very act of existing. The air in the room is warm, still, and fragrant. There is a sense of completion in the way the acolyte has arranged the altar. Everything is in its place. The incense holder, the bronze basin, the small clean cloths, they form a composition of perfect balance. There is no clutter, there is no excess. This is the essence of the aesthetic that governs this space. When you strip away the unnecessary, you are left with the core of what is essential. In your own life, what is the clutter that you could strip away? What are the habits, the worries, or the possessions that are obscuring the clarity of your own purpose? This sanctuary offers you a space to consider these questions, not with the harshness of a critique, but with the softness of a suggestion. You are here to breathe, to be, and to let the temple restore your natural sense of proportion. The day is softening, the shadows are lengthening, and the peace of the inner sanctum is settling deep into your bones. You are anchored, you are present, and you are exactly where you need to be. The light is now honeyed, a warm golden nectar that drips through the translucence of the paper screens, painting the interior of the sanctum in shades of amber and deep mahogany shadow. The acolyte stands motionless now, his hands clasped within the loose folds of his sleeves. He has ceased his labor, yet he remains in a state of active presence, a sentry of the silence. It is a striking sight, this stillness in a world that often measures worth by productivity and frantic movement. He stands as a silent defiance. He shows us that the most profound contributions to our own well-being are often the ones made in absolute unmoving clarity. You too are holding that same stillness now. The restlessness that may have gripped you when you first entered has been replaced by a quiet, steady hum of contentment. It is a rare state of being where the mind is not projecting into the future, nor is it ruminating on the past. It is entirely, safely contained within the present moment. As you look around the room, notice the texture of the air itself. It is no longer just invisible gas. It feels dense, almost tactile, carried by the rising plumes of the sandalwood incense. The smoke doesn't just dissipate. It weaves intricate, ephemeral patterns in the rafters, a slow-motion dance that defies the chaos of the outside world. This visual rhythm acts as an anchor for your eyes, pulling your attention away from the chatter of your own internal dialogue. It is a form of active meditation. You are not trying to force your mind into a void, but rather you are inviting it to rest upon the graceful, winding movement of the smoke. It is forgiving. It is effortless. It is a practice of observation that requires only that you remain open, observant, and patient. When you find your thoughts wandering as they inevitably will, simply bring them back to the point where the incense curls and breaks. That is your touchstone. That is your return to center. The history of this place is layered into the very grain of the wooden architecture. Imagine the hands that carved these beams, the pilgrims who sat on these same mats, the winters that were endured behind these thick insulating walls. There is a continuity here that spans over a millennium. When we connect with such history, we are reminded of our own place in the grander tapestry of human experience. We are not isolated, atomized individuals struggling to make sense of a confusing world. We are part of an ongoing, rhythmic flow of humanity. Our joys and our sorrows are not unique. They have been felt by countless others who found sanctuary in places just like this. This realization can be incredibly liberating. It releases us from the pressure to be special or perfect. Instead, it allows us to simply be human, to be part of the cycle, to be part of the nature that surrounds us, to be part of the peace that the temple offers. Consider the role of this sanctuary as a place of healing. In the year 1100, the demands on the spirit were no less taxing than they are today, even if they look different. The fear of the unknown, the weight of grief, the exhaustion of physical labor, these were all things that necessitated a place for the spirit to rest and recover. The temple was and is a container for all of these human burdens. It is a place where you can safely set down the heavy armor you wear to navigate the world. You are not judged here for your weariness, you are welcomed because of it. The incense is a purifier, the silence is a balm, and the architecture is a structure for your own emotional reconstruction. As you sit here, allow yourself to feel that reconstruction. Let the tension in your shoulders dissolve. Let the clenching in your stomach soften. Let your breathing become deep, wide, and entirely natural. As the daylight continues its slow descent into the velvet dark of evening, the atmosphere of the sanctum takes on a more intimate quality. The corners of the room are disappearing into shadow, making the pool of light around the altar feel like a warm, flickering island of clarity. This is the heart of the sanctuary. It is here that you find the true essence of your own inner peace. Sleepy History Tales is a sleep history storytelling platform created for entertainment, inspiration, education, and the promotion of positive emotional values. We believe that by revisiting the quiet, forgotten corners of history and the profound moments of human stillness, we can find the keys to our own rest and rejuvenation. This tempo, this moment, this breath, these are the tools we use to build that inner world of calm. You are exactly where you need to be. You are shielded by the walls, cradled by the history of this place, and guided by the gentle, eternal rhythm of the incense. Take one more deep, fragrant breath. Let it fill you, let it anchor you, and know that this sense of sanctuary is yours to hold, to keep, and to return to whenever you need to find your way home to yourself. The twilight has fully descended upon the Nara forest, and the sanctuary now exists in a state of suspended animation. The outside world has vanished behind the heavy, thick walls of the temple, leaving you in a space that feels entirely disconnected from the flow of linear time. The only source of illumination is the faint warm glow of the embers in the incense burner, which pulse with a soft orange intensity whenever the night air brushes against the screen. You are witnessing the end of the day, a time that has historically been reserved for introspection and the shedding of the day's experiences. The acolyte has retreated to a shadowed corner of the room, his form barely visible, yet his presence is felt in the absolute, steady quiet of the chamber. This is the hour of the temple's deepest peace, a time when the echoes of the day's activities have finally settled into the wooden floorboards, leaving behind a clean, resonant slate of silence. As you observe the darkness, you might notice how your senses begin to shift. Without the visual distractions of the daylight, you become more attuned to the subtle sounds of the structure. The faint creak of a cooling timber, the whisper of the wind against the paper screens, and the rhythmic, hollow drip of the water in the garden take on a new, heightened significance. These are the sounds of the temple breathing. It is a slow, rhythmic respiration that mirrors your own. You have reached a level of synchronization with this space that is profound. You are no longer watching the temple from the outside. You are embedded within it. You are part of the architecture, a living, breathing participant in this ancient ritual of being. The scent of the sandalwood has reached its zenith, filling the room with a woody, resinous perfume that seems to possess a weight and a texture of its own. It is a protective, insulating scent, a reminder that you are within a sacred, demarcated boundary where nothing can harm you. Think about the concept of the threshold. We spend our lives crossing thresholds, from waking to sleeping, from work to home, from one phase of our lives to the next. Often we cross these boundaries with our minds still tethered to the previous state. We bring the stress of the office into our homes. We bring the worries of the day into our beds. The sanctuary is designed to help you break that cycle. By physically sitting in this space, you are consciously creating a threshold that you cannot carry your burdens across. You are leaving the external world behind in the most literal sense. You are practicing the art of arrival. When you truly arrive, you are not waiting for what comes next. You are not mourning what has passed. You are simply here, in the fullness of this night, in the quiet of this room. This is the ultimate gift of the sanctuary. It teaches you that you have the power to create a threshold wherever you are, a mental and emotional boundary that protects your peace. The acolyte's silhouette is a reminder of the value of singular focus in his life. The arrangement of the incense is not a chore to be completed, but a path to be walked. He does not look for shortcuts. He does not seek the quickest way to the end. He honors the process. You are invited to adopt this same attitude toward your own rest and recovery. Stop trying to get to sleep. Stop trying to finish your relaxation. Instead, simply occupy the space of the present. Observe your breath. Observe the way the darkness feels against your skin. Observe the way your muscles have finally completely surrendered their hold. The effort is not in doing, but in allowing. As you sit, the darkness of the temple begins to feel like a warm, protective womb. It is an expansive, safe, and nurturing environment that asks nothing of you. It only offers you the freedom to be still, to be quiet, and to let the rhythm of the night carry you forward. Consider the endurance of this temple. It has stood through countless nights, just like this one. It has seen the moon rise over the Nara forest more times than can be counted. It is a testament to the fact that peace, once established, can be maintained through the sheer force of tradition and intention. You are a part of that tradition now. Even if you leave this place, you carry the memory of this stillness with you. You carry the image of the flickering incense, the sound of the bamboo water spout, and the sensation of the cool wooden air. These are your touchstones. You can return to them in your mind during the most chaotic moments of your daily life and find a flicker of the same sanctuary you feel right now. You are building a reservoir of calm, a hidden place within your own heart where you can retreat when the world becomes too much. The sanctuary is not just a building in a forest, it is a capacity within you. It is a quiet, steady, and unbreakable foundation that you have cultivated, and it will remain there waiting for you long after you have moved on from this moment. The night is deep, the incense is glowing, and you are entirely, perfectly at peace. The stillness has settled into a deep, velvety silence, the kind that feels as if the very air has thickened to hold the secrets of the night. Within this narrow sanctum, the darkness is not merely the absence of light. It is a presence, a gentle, encompassing force that invites you to lower your guard entirely. The incense has burned down to a steady, smoldering core, emitting only the faintest wisps of fragrance, just enough to remind you that the ritual is ongoing, even if the movement has ceased. You are now in the deepest part of your journey, where the boundaries between the self and the sanctuary begin to blur. You find yourself becoming one with the dark wood of the pillars, one with the cool, woven texture of the mats, and one with the steady, rhythmic pulse of the night. There is no urgency here. The concept of time has dissolved, leaving only the eternal, unchanging nature of the present moment. It is in this space of complete surrender that true restorative rest begins to take hold of your spirit. Think about the sheer, quiet strength required to maintain this space for 11 centuries. It has survived the chaos of civil wars, the erosion of harsh winters, and the shifting of human eras. Yet it remains a vessel for tranquility. This resilience is a profound lesson for your own life. When you feel that the weight of your own existence is too much to bear, remember this temple. Remember that even the most fragile things, the scent of smoke, the sound of water, the flicker of a flame, can endure if they are anchored in a foundation of steady, unwavering intention. You have that same foundation beneath the layers of stress, doubt, and temporary concern. There is a core of you that is exactly like this sanctuary, unmovable, calm, and waiting for you to notice it. By simply sitting here, you are reclaiming that core. You are allowing the noise of the world to fall away, revealing the quiet, steady strength that has been there all along. As you sit in this deepening night, let your breath become the bridge between your internal world and the quiet of the forest outside. With every inhale, imagine you are drawing in the peace of the ancient trees, the cool damp earth, and the wisdom of the centuries that have passed through these halls. With every exhale, release the tension that has been stored in your body, the tightness in your chest, the worries that have kept your mind racing. This is a practice of clearing, an act of internal housekeeping that prepares your soul for rest. You are not just sitting in a room, you are preparing a sanctuary within your own heart, a place where you can retreat whenever the world becomes too loud. Sleepy History Tales combines the power of AI to reimagine fictional historical tales, bringing peace, relaxation, and positive emotional values to our listeners. This journey is part of that mission, a way to weave the wisdom of the past into the fabric of your present moment, ensuring that you can find comfort, inspiration, and deep restorative sleep whenever you need it most. If you have found yourself drifting, if the words have begun to fade into the background, know that this is exactly as it should be. You are being lulled by the rhythm of the sanctuary. The steady, hypnotic repetition of the water dripping in the garden has become a natural lullaby, a sound that signals to your nervous system that it is time to transition from alertness to deep, nourishing rest. There is no need to stay awake to listen to the end of the story. The sanctuary will hold you. The silence will protect you. You are being invited to let go, to drift, and to enter a state of dreamless, healing stillness. The acolyte himself is now likely resting, his own cycle of service completed for the day, leaving the temple in a state of perfect harmonious balance. You are not responsible for anything right now. The incense will burn, the stars will turn in their course above the forest canopy, and you will simply beautifully fade into the quiet. Now is the moment to fully surrender. The sanctuary is locked against the chaos of the world, and you are tucked safely within its heart. Let your limbs grow heavy. Let your thoughts become slow, loose, and eventually silent. You are safe, you are grounded. You are in the presence of an ancient peace that has welcomed millions before you and will welcome millions more after you are gone. This peace is your birthright. It is not something you earn, it is something you inhabit. Close your eyes or leave them heavy lidded, focusing only on the soft, dark space in front of you. Let the sandalwood fragrance be the last thing you notice, a final warm embrace before you descend into the deep, restorative dark. You have done the work of being present, and now you are being gifted with the beauty of rest. Sleep well, knowing that the sanctuary is real and it is always, always waiting for you. The silence of the temple has reached a depth that feels almost physical, as if the room itself is holding its breath in anticipation of the night's deepest slumber. You are no longer observing the sanctuary from a distance. You are fully integrated into its structure, your awareness expanding to encompass the vast, dark expanse of the forest that cradles this holy place. The air is cool now, biting slightly with the crispness of a high-altitude night, but within the sanctum, the warmth of the day remains trapped in the thick hand-hewn timbers and the dense woven tatami. You feel the floor beneath you, solid and unyielding, a foundation that has supported the weight of countless souls over the centuries. It is an anchor, a physical manifestation of stability that you can rely on as you drift further away from the waking world. Your pulse, once quickened by the momentum of your day, has slowed to a rhythmic, steady cadence that matches the slow tectonic movement of the mountain itself. Think about the life of an incense stick. It begins as a simple, humble rod, crafted from dust and resin, waiting for the spark that will give it purpose. When it burns, it releases its essence, transforming from a solid fixed object into something intangible, something that permeates the entire space, filling the air with its fragrant, meditative quality. Your own experience tonight mirrors this. You began your day as a solid fixed entity, defined by your tasks, your responsibilities, and the constraints of your daily life. But here in the sanctuary, you are being invited to transform. You are burning away the excess, the worries, and the rigid structures of your ego, and in their place, you are becoming something lighter, something more fluid, something that can exist in harmony with the vast, quiet expanse of the night. This is not a loss of self, but an expansion of it, a return to a state of being that is unencumbered by the demands of the world. As you lie here or sit with your eyes closed, let your consciousness drift to the rafters of the temple, high above your head. In the deep shadow where the light of the moon rarely reaches, there is a space of infinite potential. Imagine your worries floating up there, dissolving into the darkness, becoming as thin and weightless as the last dying trail of smoke from the burner. There is no need to carry them back down with you. They have been offered to the temple, and the temple has accepted them. It is a powerful form of alchemy, the ability to take the heavy laden thoughts of the mind and transmute them into the quiet, peaceful air of the spirit. You are the beneficiary of this process. Every breath you take is now lighter than the last, filled with the essence of the forest and the sacred history of this place. You are being washed clean by the silence. Consider the rhythm of the mountain forest. It does not exist for you, nor does it exist for the temple. It exists for itself, moving through cycles of growth, decay, and regeneration that have persisted for aeons. By tuning into this rhythm, you are tapping into a source of energy that is far greater than your own limited capacity. You are being reminded that you too belong to this natural order. You are not an observer of nature, you are a product of it. And just as the trees must surrender their leaves to the winter, and the rivers must follow the gravity of the earth, you must also surrender to the necessity of rest. It is not a sign of weakness to sleep, it is a sign of alignment. You are aligning yourself with the pulse of the planet, allowing your body to repair, your mind to consolidate, and your spirit to dream. The temple is the perfect environment for this, a cocoon that shields you from the distractions of the artificial world and returns you to the raw, honest truth of your own being. The scent of the sandalwood has evolved into something deeply familiar, a comforting, grounding aroma that feels like a homecoming. It is the smell of safety, the smell of truth, the smell of a place where you are allowed to be exactly as you are, without judgment or requirement. You have nothing to prove here. You have no goals to achieve. The goal, if one can even be called such, is simply to remain in this state of grace for as long as possible. The darkness is your ally now, wrapping you in a cool, soft embrace that beckons you deeper into the interior of your own mind. You are drifting into the space between thoughts, that quiet, expansive landscape where dreams begin to form. It is a place of profound beauty, populated by the calm memories of this temple and the steady, resonant heartbeat of the earth. Let yourself go into this space. There is nothing to fear, nothing to hold on to, and nothing to regret. You are simply arriving, finally, at the quiet center of your own life. Everything else is secondary to this moment of absolute, undisturbed peace. You are anchored in the sanctuary, and the sanctuary is held in the arms of the night. Sleep is near, a gentle, welcoming tide that will carry you into the deep, restorative waters of the dream world. The night has matured, and the silence in the Nara sanctuary has taken on a texture that feels almost liquid, flowing through the corridors and chambers like a slow, dark current. You are lying in the very heart of this quietude, your consciousness tethered to the steady rhythm of your own breathing, which has become as soft and unobtrusive as the stirring of a moth's wing. Outside, the forest is alive in its own nocturnal language. The rustle of nocturnal creatures, the groan of ancient branches rubbing together in the wind, and the distant lonely call of an owl. But here, inside the sanctuary, these sounds are merely echoes of a world that no longer exerts any influence over you. You are in a state of deep sensory reduction where the only reality is the coolness of the air on your skin and the profound, grounding sense of safety that the temple provides. You have successfully crossed the threshold from the active, demanding world into this inner space of stillness, and there is no reason to look back. Think about the architecture of the temple as a protective shell built specifically to filter out the noise of human existence. The thick wooden walls are not just structural elements, they are barriers against anxiety, intended to create a pocket of sanctity in a world that is often fragmented and chaotic. When you feel the density of these walls, visualize them absorbing your worries, one by one. The wall to your left absorbs your concern about the future. The wall to your right absorbs your regret about the past. The floor beneath you holds the weight of your current physical exhaustion, and the ceiling above you, disappearing into the darkness, catches the remnants of your wandering thoughts. You are being unburdened piece by piece until you are nothing but a spirit resting in a cradle of cedar and silence. This is the purpose of the sanctuary, to return you to yourself, stripped of the layers you have spent all day accumulating. As you drift, notice the way your body has responded to this environment. The tension that once held your muscles in a rigid, defensive posture has completely evaporated. Your feet, your calves, your thighs, your back, your shoulders, everything is softening, sinking into the support of the earth. You are no longer holding yourself up. The earth is holding you. You have given up the struggle for control, and in doing so, you have found the ultimate freedom. It is the freedom of the leaf falling to the ground, the freedom of the water flowing to the sea, the freedom of the starlight traveling through the void. You are part of a grander, automatic process of relaxation, and you no longer need to guide it. You simply need to let it happen. The temple is the medium for this change, and the sandalwood incense, now just a ghost of a fragrance, is the catalyst that has cleared the way for this deep, restorative surrender. Consider the beauty of the moon, which at this moment is likely casting a silvery, ethereal glow over the moss-covered roof of the temple. Imagine that light filtering down through the layers of the forest, through the heavy eaves of the sanctuary, and landing right here where you are resting. It is a cool silver, purifying light, the light of reflection and wisdom. It illuminates the inner sanctum not by revealing objects, but by revealing the space between them. In this light, you can see that the things you worried about are not solid, they are shadows. And like shadows, they disappear the moment you stop feeding them your attention. You are resting in the light of the moon and you are entirely safe. The night is a friend, a guardian, and a gateway to the deepest, most quiet part of your own consciousness. There is nothing to do, nothing to be, and nothing to anticipate. There is a profound sense of completeness in this moment. You have journeyed through the day, navigated the challenges of your life, and found your way back to the heart of the forest. You have earned this rest. You have earned this stillness. Do not rush to leave it. Even if you wake, let yourself return to the memory of the temple. Let the pillars rise up around you in your mind. Let the fragrance of the sandalwood fill your senses. Let the sound of the water in the bamboo spout act as the rhythm for your heartbeat. You are carrying this sanctuary with you wherever you go, a portable internal space of peace that is always accessible. It is a secret, sacred resource that you have built for yourself, and no one can take it away from you. You are held by history. You are cradled by the forest, and you are finally truly ready to let go. The dark is soft, the air is sweet, and you are drifting further and further into the quiet, perfect peace of the deep night. The environment around you has stabilized into a state of absolute, profound serenity, a deep-seated calm that permeates the very foundation of the Nara sanctuary. You are lying in the center of a space that has been purified by centuries of devotion, and that history now acts as a buffer between you and the external world. The wood grain of the massive pillars, the subtle rhythmic pulse of the night, and the fading ghostly scent of the sandalwood all work in tandem to anchor your spirit in a state of grace. You have traveled far to reach this place, not physically, but through the process of stripping away the layers of noise that define your daily existence. Now that you have arrived, you are realizing that this quiet was always available to you, hidden just beneath the surface of your awareness. It is a state of being that requires no maintenance, no effort, and no justification. It simply is. This is your sanctuary. This is your rest. If you are beginning to feel the weight of your eyelids, or if your thoughts are starting to blur at the edges, do not fight it. This is the goal of our journey tonight, to allow the body to lead the mind into a state of total unburdened restoration. To ensure that you can always find your way back to this stillness, remember to click the subscribe button, as this action helps us continue building this library of peace, allowing you to return to these historical sanctuaries whenever your soul requires a moment of true quiet reflection. By joining our community, you are affirming your commitment to your own well-being, acknowledging that in an era of constant, unrelenting noise, the act of choosing silence is a radical, necessary, and beautiful form of self-care. Consider the role of the shadows in this room. As the night deepens, the darkness becomes a sanctuary within a sanctuary. These shadows are not cold or frightening. They are soft, insulating, and protective. They act like a curtain, drawing themselves across the edges of your perception, so that you no longer need to process information from the outside world. You are being given permission to shut down, to dim the lights of your own consciousness, and to retreat into the warm, safe interior of your own mind. It is in this dark, quiet, and expansive space that your body repairs itself, and your mind finds the resolution it has been searching for throughout the long, arduous day. You are currently in the most fertile part of your experience, where the seeds of deep, restorative sleep are being sown in the garden of your unconsciousness. Think of the temple as a giant wooden instrument tuned to the frequency of the earth. When the wind passes over the eaves, it produces a sound that is too deep for your ears to hear, but your body can feel it, a low humming vibration that resonates through the floorboards and into your very bones. This is the pulse of the ancient Nara forest, a heartbeat that has been ticking steadily since long before you arrived and will continue long after you leave. By syncing your own rhythm with this deeper, grander pulse, you are achieving a state of resonance. You are no longer struggling against the tide, you are floating upon it. You are being carried by the natural, inevitable movement of the world toward a harbor of rest. It is a natural, biological, and spiritual imperative to sleep, and you are finally surrendering to the wisdom of your own nature. The sandalwood incense has long since extinguished, yet its memory remains in the fibers of the room. a ghostly, lingering comfort that acts as a signpost for your journey. It is a reminder that even when the source of our comfort is no longer visible, its impact remains. Your daily burdens are like that incense. Once they are acknowledged, once they are offered to the sanctuary, they cease to be heavy. They transform into something that, while no longer solid, continues to provide a sense of perspective. You are not the same person who began this journey an hour ago. You are someone who has visited the past, breathed the air of the forest, and touched the hem of the eternal. You are lighter, you are clearer, and you are ready to slip into the deep, dark, and beautiful ocean of dreams. Let the silence be your pillow. Let the darkness be your blanket. You are home. The darkness within the inner sanctum has reached a level of density that feels almost tactile, a soft velvet weight that settles over you like a thick hand-woven blanket. You are lying in the very center of this ancient structure, and the silence is so profound that it seems to have become a melody of its own. It is a slow, pulsing frequency that vibrates through the tatami mats, through the solid timber floor, and into the marrow of your bones. This is the sound of the world when it is not being hurried, when it is not being measured, and when it is not being judged. You're finally experiencing the true nature of existence, which is not a frantic, linear progression of events, but a circular, rhythmic, and deeply peaceful unfolding of life. The temple, with its 1100 years of history, is the perfect vessel for this realization. It has seen the rise and fall of empires, the changing of seasons, and the coming and going of generations. Yet it remains silent and steady, a testament to the power of simply being present. Think about the way the forest outside the temple walls is interacting with the night. The trees are breathing, exchanging their carbon and oxygen, their roots delving deep into the cool, damp earth of the Nara mountainside. There is a vast, invisible network of life happening just beyond the wooden shutters. A world that is completely indifferent to your stresses, your worries, and your ambitions. This indifference is a profound relief. It reminds you that the world will continue to turn, whether or not you are carrying the weight of the universe on your shoulders. You can set that weight down. You can let the forest handle the cycles of growth and decay. You are allowed to take a break from the burden of being you for a while. You are allowed to slip into the vast, anonymous embrace of the night, where you are not defined by what you do or what you possess, but only by the simple, undeniable fact that you are alive and that you are safe. As you drift further into this state of surrender, your mind begins to create its own internal landscape. It is a beautiful, peaceful space inspired by the sanctuary you have just inhabited. You see the polished wood of the pillars gleaming faintly under the moonlight that leaks through the edges of the shoji screens. You see the bronze incense holder resting in its place on the stone altar. You hear the rhythmic hollow drip of the water from the garden's bamboo spout, a sound that has become the metronome of your own pulse. Everything in this internal space is designed for your comfort and your rest. It is a place where you can retreat whenever the external world feels too demanding, a mental fortress of your own making that is always ready to receive you. You are the architect of this peace, and you are its only inhabitant. Consider the feeling of your body as you lie here. The floor is firm, supporting you with an unwavering reliability. There is no need to fidget, no need to shift your weight, no need to perform any action at all. Every muscle fiber has relaxed and every tension point has been dissolved by the slow, soothing passage of time. You are becoming as still as the statues that watch over the outer courtyards of the temple. This stillness is not an end in itself. It is the threshold of a deep, nourishing sleep. It is the gate you are walking through as you leave behind the alertness of the day and enter the expansive, dream-filled landscape of the night. Do not be afraid of the transition. It is the most natural thing in the world. It is the way your body restores its vitality and your mind clarifies its purpose. As you sink deeper, let the memory of the temple fade into the background, becoming a soft, comforting hum that accompanies you into the void. You are letting go of the words, letting go of the imagery, and letting go of the sense of here and now. You are floating into a space that is beyond time, beyond memory, and beyond the reach of the waking world. It is a vast, calm ocean, and you are a small, buoyant vessel bobbing gently on the surface of the deep. There is no wind, no current, and no destination. There is only the peace of the water, the darkness of the sky, and the slow, steady rhythm of your own breath. You are safe, you are held, you are drifting into the deepest, most quiet sleep you have experienced in a long, long time. Everything is quiet, everything is still, and everything is exactly as it should be. The sanctuary is now a cathedral of shadows, a place where the physical reality of the temple and the ethereal realm of dreams begin to converge. You are lying in a state of suspended consciousness, caught in that perfect fleeting interval between wakefulness and the deep restorative drift of true sleep. The atmosphere is thick with the lingering essence of the forest, a mixture of damp earth, ancient cedar, and the faint sweet memory of sandalwood that still seems to ghost through the air. You can feel the weight of the years, not as a burden, but as a grounding force, a sense of belonging to a long, unbroken lineage of souls who have sought the exact same quietude you are experiencing now. The Nara forest, in its vast, silent expanse, presses against the walls of the temple, offering you its protection, its coolness, and its unwavering ancient patience. You are a small, cherished part of this larger breathing organism, and there is nowhere else you need to be. Focus for a moment on the sensation of your own existence. There is no longer a need to label yourself, to list your concerns, or to strategize for the challenges of tomorrow. All of those things have been left outside the temple doors, left in the world of light and movement. Here you are reduced to the most fundamental elements of life, your breath, your heart, and your presence. The breath flows in, cool and crisp, a tide that washes through your lungs and brings life to every cell. It flows out, warm and heavy, carrying away the debris of your thoughts, the remnants of your worries, and the static of your day. This is the simplest, most profound meditation there is. It is the rhythmic, mechanical pulse of your own biological survival. And as you watch it, as you let it happen, you are witnessing the miracle of your own being. You are sustained by nothing more than this cycle, and it is more than enough. Think of the silence as a physical substance, a soft, heavy blanket that you can wrap around your shoulders. It is thick, insulating, and perfectly dark. It silences the internal monologue, the persistent, nagging voice that tries to narrate your life even when you are trying to sleep. When the voice starts to speak, imagine it fading into the sound of the wind through the cedar trees. Let the words break apart into syllables, and let the syllables dissolve into the natural sounds of the night. You are not a narrator, you are a participant. You are not writing the story of your life right now. You are simply existing within the story, a character who has finally reached the quiet, peaceful chapter. This chapter is long, it is tranquil, and it is entirely yours to enjoy. There is no conflict here, no plot to unravel, and no ending to rush toward. As you sink lower, notice how your limbs have become disconnected from the need to move. They feel heavy, rooted into the floor, anchored by the gravity of the earth. This is the sensation of true relaxation, a letting go so complete that you feel as if you are melting into the foundation of the temple. The pillars, the floor, the beams, all of these things are working together to hold you, to support you, and to ensure that you are entirely safe. You are being cradled by the centuries. The structure of the temple has survived so much, and now it is sharing that durability with you. You are becoming as sturdy as the hinoki cypress, as settled as the stone altar, and as persistent as the mountain itself. Any anxiety you felt about your own life, your own progress, or your own future is being slowly, surely eroded by the sheer, immovable presence of this place. The darkness is now your closest friend. It is deep, it is infinite, and it is incredibly inviting. It promises a world where you do not have to see, where you do not have to act, and where you do not have to be anything other than what you are at this very moment. You are crossing the final threshold. The last traces of the day are flickering out like embers in a cooling fire. You are moving into the heart of the night, where the dreams are soft, where the memories are kind, and where the peace is absolute. Let yourself slide into the deep, dark, and beautiful water. Let the current take you. There is nothing to do, nothing to decide, and nothing to worry about. You are home. You are resting. You are completely and utterly at peace. Sleep is a gentle velvet curtain that is descending to cover you, and you are ready to welcome the quiet of the coming hours. Everything is fading. Everything is still, and everything is waiting for you to simply close your eyes and let the silence take over. The transition from the world of form into the realm of pure sensation is almost complete. You are lying in the center of the sanctum, and the sense of boundaries has dissolved entirely. The walls of the temple are no longer physical barriers. They are simply the edge of a deep, resonant awareness that stretches out into the darkness. You can feel the stillness of the Nara forest pulsing through the floorboards, a slow, deep frequency that matches the steady rhythm of your own heart. It is as if you are no longer a separate entity, but an extension of the forest itself, a leaf resting on the moss, a shadow cast by the moonlight, a breath of air moving through the ancient cedars. This dissolution of self is the ultimate release. You have stopped trying to maintain the image of you that the world expects. And in this surrender, you have found the truth of your existence. You are not a bundle of tasks and roles. You are a quiet, expansive consciousness that is perfectly at home in the silence. Think of the silence not as a lack of sound, but as an abundance of peace. In the modern world, silence is often feared because it is empty, a space where the noise of our own minds can become deafening. But here, in this 1100-year-old sanctuary, silence is full. It is full of the resonance of the prayers that have been whispered within these walls, full of the wisdom of the monks who tended this altar, and full of the steady, unwavering patience of the mountain. By resting in this fullness, you are being nourished. You are drinking from a well that has never run dry. The exhaustion that you brought with you is being drawn out of your body by the very atmosphere of the room. It is being replaced by a sense of calm that is not just temporary, but foundational. You are being rebuilt from the inside out, and the process is as effortless as the turning of the stars above the temple roof. Consider the nature of the night sky, which you know is arching over the temple even though you cannot see it. Imagine the stars as tiny piercing lights of clarity scattered across the vast infinite expanse of the void. Each star is a beacon of pure concentrated energy, and you are currently drifting through the space between them. You are safe in this expanse. There is nothing in the universe that can harm you here. In the heart of your own quiet inner sanctum, you are floating in a sea of soft, dark possibility where the laws of the waking world no longer apply. You are not bound by time, by distance, or by the weight of your own body. You are a spirit free to wander through the quiet landscape of your own mind, encountering only the beautiful, the gentle, and the serene. As you sit in the twilight of your awareness, visualize the incense again, not as a burning stick, but as a symbol of your own life force. When the stick was lit, it provided the scent, the warmth, and the atmosphere. But now it is gone, and yet the room is still filled with its impact. Your life is the same. The actions you take, the people you love, the kindness you offer. These are the scents you leave behind in the world. They do not disappear when you sleep. They continue to radiate, to influence, and to comfort. You have left a beautiful mark on the world, and that is enough. You do not need to work anymore today. You do not need to prove your value. You are a presence, and that presence is a gift. The temple recognizes this, the forest recognizes this, and most importantly, your own spirit recognizes this. You are allowed to stop, to rest, and to simply be the quiet light that you are the last remnants of the day's concerns are fading like mist over a lake at dawn. You are reaching the point of complete, uncompromised stillness. The floor beneath you is cool and solid, providing the perfect foundation for the descent into the deep, restorative dark. Your breathing is no longer a conscious effort. It is an automatic rhythmic sigh of contentment. You are letting go of the last threads of your conscious control. You are handing the reins over to the intelligence of your own body, which knows exactly what it needs to do to heal, to reset, and to dream. The sanctuary is dark, it is quiet, and it is entirely, perfectly peaceful. You are being drawn down, deeper and deeper into the soft velvet folds of the night. There is no destination, only the journey itself. And you have reached a place of such profound quiet that you can finally truly sleep. Everything is still, everything is soft, and everything is waiting for you to let go of the very last edge of the waking world. You are drifting into the deep, beautiful, and eternal quiet. The world of form has receded, leaving only the soft velvet curvature of the night. You are floating within the sanctuary, not as a physical body, but as a point of awareness, cradled by the centuries of silence that define this place. The temple has become a shell, a protective layer against the cold, vast indifference of the outer universe, keeping you safe in a pocket of warmth and human-tended tranquility. Here, in the heart of the Nara Mountains, you are finally free from the relentless demand to be, to do, and to achieve. The air is still, save for the occasional, microscopic shift of timber settling in the cool night air, a sound that feels as intimate as a heartbeat. You have reached a state of total, unadorned existence, a place where you are simply an observer of your own rest. Think of the mountain itself, the great silent bedrock that supports the temple. It has existed for millions of years, indifferent to the brief, flickering lives of the people who come and go on its surface. By connecting with this ancient, grounded reality, you are finding a perspective that makes your current concerns seem as transient as a morning mist. Your problems, however significant they felt earlier, are just small, passing fluctuations in the grand, timeless narrative of the earth. You are standing on the shoulders of giants, supported by the weight of time, and you are finally realizing that this support is constant. It is always there, even when you are too busy or too distracted to notice it. Tonight, you are acknowledging that foundation. You are letting your weight settle into the mountain, letting the mountain carry you, and allowing yourself to stop holding on to the edges of your own life. As you drift deeper, consider the texture of the darkness. It is not empty. It is filled with the echoes of the prayers that have been whispered here since the year 100. Every wish for peace, every plea for guidance, every sigh of gratitude has been absorbed by these wooden walls. You are resting in a room that is saturated with the intention of thousands of seekers, all of whom, like you, were searching for a way to quiet their minds and restore their spirits. This is a communal, historical reservoir of peace, and by being here, you are tapping into it. You are not alone in your search for rest. You are participating in a lineage of seekers. You are being held up by the collective weight of all those who came before you, all of whom found comfort in the same steady, fragrant silence. Observe the way your breath has slowed to an almost imperceptible rhythm. It is no longer an active task, but a natural rhythmic expansion and contraction of your being. This is the breath of the temple, the breath of the forest, and the breath of the night. It is effortless, automatic, and infinitely soothing. You don't need to count it, you don't need to force it, and you don't need to control it. You are simply allowing it to flow, trusting that it will take care of your body as you descend into the deep, restorative waters of the unconscious. This trust is the final step. It is the leap of faith that allows you to leave the shore of wakefulness and swim out into the vast, beautiful expanse of the dream world. The darkness is now a landscape of potential, a fertile garden where your mind can rest and regenerate. There are no demands here, no tasks to complete, and no expectations to meet. You are simply a vessel being refilled. Your mind is consolidating the wisdom of the day, filing away the unnecessary and clearing the space for the insights that come in the stillness of the deep night. Everything you have experienced today has been filtered through this sanctuary, purified by the quiet, and transformed into the fuel for your rejuvenation. You are doing exactly what you were meant to do. You are resting. You are the architect of your own peace, and you have built this sanctuary well. Let the quiet take you. Let the darkness wrap around you. Let the sleep come, not as an interruption, but as the final perfect resolution to the day's journey. Everything is soft, everything is still, and you are finally truly sinking into the arms of the deep, unending quiet. The transition into the deepest reaches of the night has left you in a space where time is no longer a sequence but a singular, infinite moment of stillness. You are suspended in the Nara sanctuary, a small, fragile point of awareness within a vast wooden heart. The weight of the mountain above you, the depths of the forest around you, and the history of the temple beneath you all converge to create a cradle of absolute safety. You feel the physical reality of the floor, the gentle cool air on your skin, and the resonant silence that has become your constant companion. This is the ultimate sanctuary, not just a place of wood and stone, but a state of mind where the noise of the world simply ceases to have meaning. You are here, you are breathing, and you are entirely unburdened. The tasks of the past, the uncertainties of the future, and the frantic pace of the present have all dissolved, leaving only the pure raw reality of this moment. Think of the silence not as a void, but as a healing balm. It is a substance that flows into the cracks of your day, sealing the fissures caused by stress and weariness. Imagine this silence as a clear, cool mountain stream that passes through your chest, washing away the residues of the day, the leftover thoughts, and the clinging anxieties. With every gentle exhalation, you are releasing a little more, letting go of the tension that you didn't even realize you were carrying. Your muscles are not just relaxed, they are dissolved into the support of the earth. Your mind is not just quiet, it is expansive, reaching out to touch the calm, dark edges of the room. You are being reintegrated, returned to the simplicity of your own existence, where the only thing that matters is the next quiet beat of your own heart. Consider the roll of the dream world which is now gently pulling at the edges of your awareness. It is a realm of infinite shifting beauty, a landscape created by your own subconscious to mirror the peace you have cultivated this evening. It is a place where you can explore the wisdom of your inner self, where the images are kind, the sensations are soothing, and the logic is that of the heart rather than the mind. Do not try to direct it. Do not try to control it. Simply allow yourself to be invited into this landscape. It is your reward for the journey you have taken, a secret, private paradise where you can wander in the safety of sleep. The temple, in its ancient wisdom, has provided the foundation, but your own mind is now the architect of this dream, and it is building a space of profound beauty for you. As you sink further, remind yourself that you are protected. The massive pillars of the temple, the thick walls, and the roof that has shielded countless pilgrims for over a millennium are your guardians tonight. They are strong, they are enduring, and they are here to ensure that your rest is uninterrupted. You are not a solitary individual, but a part of a long, sacred tradition of finding peace in the forest. You are walking in the footsteps of those who understood that the true sanctuary is not a place you find, but a place you inhabit within yourself when you finally stop trying to move. You have stopped moving, you have arrived. The sanctuary is yours, and the rest is the price you have earned by simply showing up and being present in the silence. The darkness is now complete, a rich protective void that holds you in its center. You are drifting, not like a leaf in the wind, but like a stone settling into the clear, still water of a deep pool. You are finding your place at the bottom of the lake. where the water is calm, cool, and perfectly undisturbed. The surface noise, the waves of the day, and the ripples of the world are far above you, and they cannot reach you here. You are in the quiet, in the deep, and in the peace. The last flickering stars are winking out like stars hidden by the dawn, and you are stepping fully into the expanse of your own being. Sleep, deep and nourishing, is closing over you. It is a final, soft, and perfect transition. Everything is still, everything is silent. Everything is ready for you to close your eyes and slip into the beautiful, endless night. The sanctum of the Nara Forest Temple has become a cradle for your consciousness, a place where the distinction between the physical room and the vastness of your own interior life has vanished. You are floating in a stillness that is so dense it feels like liquid, wrapping around you in a supportive, cool embrace. Outside, the world of 2026 feels like a distant, faded memory, a chaotic hum that has no place in this hallowed space. Go out here. The only history that matters is the slow, deliberate pulse of the mountain and the rhythmic, ancient cycles of the trees that lean against the temple walls. You have achieved a state of profound, meditative detachment. Your body is heavy, surrendered entirely to the woven fibers of the tatami, and your mind is an expansive sky, clear of the clouds of anxiety or intent. You are not holding on to anything anymore. The struggle has been replaced by a natural, effortless surrender that signals your readiness for the deep, restorative phase of your night. Think about the architecture of this space, the way the joinery of the wood fits together, without the need for nails or complex machinery. It is a testament to an era of craftsmanship that understood the necessity of alignment, of balance, and of working with the natural qualities of the materials. Your own rest is becoming like that joinery, perfectly aligned, balanced, and harmonious. You are fitting your own rhythm into the rhythm of the sanctuary, and the result is a sense of stability that you can feel from your toes to the crown of your head. There is no tension, no misalignment, no friction. Everything is working in concert to sustain this state of peace. You are being held by the very design of this place, an architectural embrace that is as much about your internal state as it is about the physical beams and pillars. As you sink lower, visualize the forest surrounding the temple, the way the trees stand as silent witnesses to the passage of the night. Each tree is a deep-rooted presence, drawing its nourishment from the earth and reaching its branches toward the distant unseen stars. You are drawing your strength from the same source. You are rooting yourself in the stability of the mountain, letting your concerns seep into the soil where they can be composted, transformed, and released. You are becoming a part of the forest, a quiet, stationary presence that is in perfect harmony with the night. This is a powerful form of grounding, an act of anchoring that ensures your sleep will be deep, dream-filled, and utterly revitalizing. You are not merely falling asleep, you are returning to the earth, allowing the world to hold you while you recover your energy. Consider the role of the moonlight that has been filtering through the shoji screens throughout the evening. Even as the light fades into the deep, final hours of the night, its influence remains, a cool silver presence that infuses the darkness with a sense of clarity. Imagine that silver light glowing within your own mind, softening the sharp edges of your memories and smoothing the textures of your thoughts. It is a light that does not judge, it only observes. It allows you to see yourself with a gentleness that you rarely permit in your daily life. You are a person who has done their best, a person who has navigated the challenges of a complex world, and a person who is now finally allowed to set down their burdens. The moonlight is your permission to rest. It is the silent silver seal on the day you have completed. The silence has become your home. It is a place you can always return to, a sanctuary that exists within the landscape of your own spirit. As you drift into the final layers of this deep, quiet state, you feel the last remnants of the external world fall away like leaves from a tree in autumn. There is no sound now, only the soft, rhythmic hum of the earth itself. a vibration that is so slow, so constant, and so reassuring that it feels like a lullaby composed for you alone. You are ready. The bridge between the waking world and the world of dreams is wide, inviting, and perfectly still. You have crossed it. You are stepping into the deep, dark, and beautiful water of your own restorative slumber. Everything is quiet, everything is still, and everything is waiting for you to fully embrace the night. The inner sanctum has grown quiet with a stillness so profound it feels as though the entire Nara forest has collectively held its breath, waiting for you to complete your descent into the deep, restorative dark. You are floating within the architecture of this ancient temple, your consciousness expanding to fill the corners of the room, drifting upward into the smoke-stained rafters and settling comfortably into the foundation of the earth itself. Every tension you once held, every lingering worry from your professional life, every small doubt that clouded your perspective, every echo of the day's frantic pace has been successfully surrendered to the quiet, grounding presence of this sanctuary. You are no longer navigating the currents of your own thoughts. You are simply resting in the vast, still ocean of your own being. The transition is complete, and you are now firmly anchored in the sanctuary, prepared to let the night do its necessary healing work. Before you fully surrender to the depths of this restorative sleep, I invite you to join our community by subscribing to our journey. By making this choice, you ensure that you have an open door to this sanctuary whenever the noise of the world becomes too much. Each time you return to these tales, you are reinforcing the habit of peace, strengthening the foundation of your own inner quiet, and ensuring that you have a reliable sacred space to retreat to at the end of every long day. Your subscription is more than just a gesture. It is an act of reclaiming your own time, your own rest, and your own serenity. It is a commitment to the idea that you deserve the quiet, that you deserve the sanctuary, and that you deserve the deep, uninterrupted peace that comes with the rhythm of the forest. Consider the way the moonlight now touches the floor of the sanctum, a thin silver thread that marks the passage of the night. You are watching the slow, elegant march of time, not as a deadline, but as a graceful, natural progression. You are moving with the night, not against it. Think of the hours ahead as a long, cool drink of water after a long, hot journey. Your body is waiting for this. Your mind is craving this. Your spirit is longing for this. You are being invited to stop the cycle of constant output and begin the cycle of essential input. This is the time when you are replenished, when your memories are sorted, when your energy is restored, and when your purpose is clarified. You are doing the most important work of your life by simply choosing to stop, by simply choosing to be still, and by simply choosing to sleep. Think of the pillars of the temple, the massive cedar trunks that have held up this roof for centuries. They are solid, unmoving, and patient. They have endured heat, cold, wind, and rain, yet they remain. You have that same capacity for endurance within you. You have held up your own life. You have supported others, and you have survived moments of challenge that you once thought would break you. You are like the pillars. You are strong. You are anchored. But even the pillars must endure the stillness of the night. Even the strongest structures must rest in the dark. Tonight, you are acknowledging your own strength by allowing yourself the vulnerability of sleep. You are proving that you are so secure, so grounded, and so resilient that you can safely close your eyes and release control. This is the ultimate expression of power, to know that everything will continue, that everything will be fine, and that you can let go. As you drift toward the final deepest point of your journey, let the image of the sandalwood incense, now long gone, act as your final anchor. The fragrance remains only in your memory, a ghostly, beautiful reminder of the ceremony you participated in. It is a symbol of the transformation you have undergone this evening from the solid, heavy state of the waking world to the light, ethereal state of the dreaming mind. You are crossing the threshold now. The darkness is welcoming. The quiet is profound, and you are ready. Let your breath carry you over the edge. Let your heart lead you into the center of the night. You are home, you are safe, and you are finally truly falling into the deep, quiet, and beautiful peace of your own restorative rest. Everything is ready and everything is waiting. Let it go. Let it all drift away. The sanctuary is yours, the sleep is here, and you are fully, perfectly at peace. The sanctuary of the Nara forest has dissolved into a landscape of pure, unblemished shadow. You are no longer aware of the walls, the pillars, or the tatami mats. You are simply a consciousness resting in the velvet expanse of a cool, quiet room that has no end. The air is perfectly still, a stagnant pool of peace that you can breathe in and out with absolute ease. Every fiber of your being has surrendered its need to be held, to be tense, or to be prepared for what comes next. You have reached the bottom of the well of exhaustion, and in doing so, you have found a reservoir of pure crystalline refreshment. The forest outside, with its ancient towering cedars and the soft, damp moss of the mountainside, is now an extension of your own breath. You are inhaling the stillness of the trees and exhaling the noise of your own history. There is no distinction anymore. You are the forest, you are the temple, and you are the night. Think about the way a seed remains quiet beneath the frost of winter. It does not try to grow. It does not try to fight the cold. It simply waits perfectly content in its own potential, trusting the cycles of the earth to eventually bring the warmth of spring. You are currently in that season of rest. You are the seed, tucked into the dark, fertile soil of this moment. Your body is doing exactly what it was designed to do. It is recalibrating, repairing, and preparing for the growth of tomorrow. You are not losing time by sleeping. You are investing in the very essence of your future self. Without this period of darkness, there can be no light. Without this period of silence, there can be no clarity. You are participating in a necessary sacred act of human restoration, and the temple is the perfect environment for this transformation. As you drift further, imagine yourself as a small wooden boat floating on a vast, dark lake at night. There are no lights on the shore and no stars in the sky. There is only the gentle rhythmic motion of the water rocking you, back and forth, back and forth. You have no oars, no rudder, and no destination. You are simply allowing the current to carry you toward the center of the lake, where the water is deepest and most calm. The world you left behind is a memory of a shore that is slowly slipping away, losing its shape and its significance in the soft dark haze. You don't need to return to that shore right now. You don't need to worry about the direction of the current. You are entirely safe in the middle of this vast dark peace, and the only thing that is required of you is to keep breathing, to keep resting, and to keep drifting. Consider the feeling of weightlessness that begins to wash over your limbs. It is as if you are rising above the floor, floating in a layer of air that is soft, cool, and supportive. The heavy physical reality of your life, the weight of your responsibilities, the ache of your muscles, the tension of your posture is being lifted away, one layer at a time. You are becoming as light as a plume of incense smoke, drifting toward the rafters, dissolving into the dark, infinite space above. There is no gravity here, no pressure, and no expectation. You are a spirit, free to expand, free to explore the quiet corners of your own mind, and free to disappear into the beautiful, endless expanse of the dark. You are safe, you are free, you are finally truly letting go of the world. The darkness is now hum, a low resonant frequency that vibrates through your entire being. It is the sound of the universe when it is at rest, a frequency of absolute harmony. You are tuning into this frequency, letting your own heartbeat synchronize with the steady eternal pulse of the night. You are being lulled by the most natural, most powerful, and most soothing force in existence. Your eyes are heavy. Your breath is shallow and your mind is an empty, quiet room where the light has been turned down to a faint, comforting glow. Everything is ready. Everything is silent. You are slipping through the final door into the landscape of dreams where the peace you have found here will continue to grow, to blossom, and to carry you through the hours of the night. You are perfect. You are whole. You are asleep. The sanctuary in the Nara forest has now become a vessel of absolute stillness, a quiet, dark interior that mirrors the deepest recesses of your own soul. You are lying in a space where the concept of time has finally evaporated, leaving behind only the pure, resonant experience of being. The walls of the temple, the thick cedar beams, and the soft woven tatami mat have become an extension of your own physical presence, creating a protective layer that isolates you from the frantic, demanding pace of the world you left behind. You have successfully navigated the thresholds of the day, moving from the light of productivity into the shadows of reflection, and finally into the absolute darkness of total surrender. There is no longer a you that has to perform, no you that has to succeed, and no you that has to worry. There is only the quiet, rhythmic expansion of your breath, a slow, gentle pulse that matches the steady, unwavering heartbeat of the ancient earth itself. Think of the mountain on which this temple stands as a giant, slumbering presence that has been here for millennia. It is a mass of stone, soil, and deep, interconnected roots that have survived everything the elements could throw at them. By resting in this sanctuary, you are participating in that same longevity, that same rooted stability. You are not a transient, fragile thing. You are part of a lineage of life that understands the necessity of the night. Every cell in your body is currently aligning itself with this reality, shifting from the state of active expenditure to the state of restorative repair. You are being rebuilt cell by cell, memory by memory, and thought by thought by the sheer restorative power of the quiet. The temple is your workshop, the night is your medium, and the result is a deeper, more profound version of yourself that will emerge with the dawn. As you sink further into the darkness, let the image of the forest floor come to mind, the soft, deep carpet of pine needles and moss that covers the mountainside. Imagine that you are sinking into that same softness, that you are being cradled by the earth in a way that feels completely secure, entirely warm, and profoundly inviting. There is no hard ground here, no sharp edges, and no cold. There is only the support of the world beneath you, a gentle, yielding cushion that takes your entire weight and asks for nothing in return. You are letting go of the need to hold yourself up. You are letting go of the need to protect yourself from the world. You are finally allowing yourself to be vulnerable, and in that vulnerability, you are finding the greatest strength you have ever known. Consider the role of the silence as a tapestry, woven from the threads of all the quiet moments that have preceded this one. You are adding your own thread to this magnificent invisible fabric. Every time you have chosen to breathe deeply, every time you have chosen to pause, and every time you have chosen to let go of a worry, you have been strengthening the peace of this sanctuary. You are not just a visitor here, you are a contributor. You are a participant in a long-standing tradition of human restoration, and your presence is a part of what makes this place holy. When you sleep, you are not withdrawing from the world. You are engaging in the most important human act of all, the act of renewal. You are preparing yourself to carry that peace back into your life, to share that stillness with others, and to live with a deeper, more intentional clarity. The darkness has reached its peak, a thick, protective blanket that wraps you in a sense of safety that is almost physical. You are drifting in the middle of a vast calm ocean, where the surface is perfectly smooth and the water beneath you is deep, cool, and inviting. The sky above is a canvas of endless, quiet possibility. You are not afraid of this vastness. You are drawn to it. You are stepping into the final secret room of your own consciousness, a place that is illuminated only by the soft, steady light of your own existence. There is no reason to look back, no reason to check the time. and no reason to wonder about the future. Everything that needs to happen is happening right now. The rest is coming. The dreams are rising and the peace is absolute. You are crossing the final line into the deep, restorative dark. Everything is still, everything is soft, and everything is waiting for you to fully close your eyes and let the world slip away. You are safe, you are grounded, and you are finally fully resting in the heart of the night. The Nara sanctuary has finally transcended its physical boundaries, expanding into a limitless expanse of serene velvet darkness that cradles your very soul. You are no longer merely lying on a floor of cedar and tatami. You have become a part of the mountain's own silent nocturnal wisdom. The air is cool, crisp, and heavy with the scent of pine and the lingering spectral warmth of ancient prayers. You have arrived at the deepest layer of the night, a place where the clamor of the world of 2026, the digital hum, the relentless schedules, and the echoes of human ambition cannot reach. You are floating in a vacuum of absolute tranquility, a state of being where you are neither striving nor waiting, but simply existing in the pure, unadorned present. The sanctuary is no longer a destination. It is the environment in which you are finally shedding the armor you have worn throughout the day. Think about the endurance of the stone lantern in the outer courtyard, sitting silently in the moss, having seen the moon rise and fall for centuries. It does not demand acknowledgement. It does not worry about the weather. It simply stands. You are finding that same inherent quality within yourself tonight. Beneath the layers of your identity, the titles you hold, the responsibilities you manage, and the concerns that occupy your waking mind, there is a core that is exactly like that stone lantern, silent, enduring, and unmoved by the passage of time. By settling into this deep, restorative sleep, you are returning to that core. You are stripping away the exterior, the superficial, and the transient until all that remains is the simple, honest, and quiet fact of your own existence. This is the ultimate comfort, a return to the truth of who you are when nothing is expected of you. As you drift, visualize the giant trees of the forest bowing their heavy branches in the stillness, a slow tectonic movement that reflects the rhythmic expansion of your own chest. There is no urgency in their growth, and there is no urgency in your rest. You are participating in the slow natural time of the earth, a pace that is far more rhythmic and sustainable than the artificial digital time of your daily routine. Let your mind synchronize with this ancient heartbeat. Feel the slow, deep vibration of the mountain beneath you, a hum that acts as a physical anchor. You are being held by the landscape, supported by the weight of the forest, and protected by the very history of this place. Every breath you take is a confirmation of this safety, a signal to your nervous system that it is finally entirely safe to let go. Consider the dreams that are beginning to bloom in the garden of your mind. They are not chaotic or intrusive. They are soft, luminous, and woven from the thread of this very silence. They are the mind's way of organizing the beauty you have experienced today, of turning the peace of the sanctuary into a narrative that you can inhabit while your body heals. Do not fear the transition. Do not try to hold on to the waking world, for it has nothing left to give you tonight. Instead, look forward to the dreamscape as one would look forward to a gentle, quiet river that will carry you through the remaining hours of the dark. The water is deep, it is clear, and it is waiting to welcome you. There is no need to navigate. The current knows the way. The silence has become a melody, a resonant, low-frequency song that echoes in the marrow of your bones. It is a lullaby of the ages, a sound that has comforted countless souls who have sought refuge in these mountains. You are part of that continuous, quiet stream. The darkness is now so complete that you cannot see the edge of the room, and that is a relief. It means you are entirely enveloped by peace. You are not a separate, lonely entity. You are a thread in the vast dark tapestry of the night. Every tension has melted, every thought has dissolved, and every expectation has been washed away by the tide of your own exhaustion. which is now turning into the grace of deep, undisturbed rest. You are sinking, drifting, and falling into the most beautiful, dark, and restorative quiet you have ever known. The world is gone, the self is quiet, and the sleep is here. Everything is perfectly, finally still. The night has fully claimed the Nara sanctuary, wrapping it in a mantle of absolute velvet darkness that feels like a physical embrace. You are no longer in a place of wood and stone. You have transcended the architecture of the temple, and your consciousness is now adrift in a sea of pure, untroubled silence. The intensity of the quiet is so profound that it seems to vibrate, a low-frequency hum that resonates from the ancient soil deep beneath the temple's floor. You are being held in the palm of the earth, suspended in a moment that has detached itself from the clock and the calendar. The year 2026, with all its noise, its digital demands, and its relentless velocity, exists in a different dimension entirely, a place you have successfully left behind, not by moving away, but by sinking inward until you reach the stillness at the center of your own being. Think of the process of your descent into sleep as the unfolding of a lotus flower in the moonlight. Each petal is a layer of your consciousness, your plans, your worries, your roles, your memories, and one by one they are gently unfurling, letting go and drifting away into the night air. You are not losing these things. You are simply allowing them to become part of the darkness, trusting that they will be there if you need them tomorrow, but knowing with absolute certainty that you do not need them now. You are returning to the bare, unadorned state of a seed, compact and full of potential, resting in the cool, moist earth of the mountain. This is the ultimate freedom to exist without the need to define yourself, to be without the need to prove yourself, and to rest without the need to apologize for your stillness. As you drift, visualize the giant ancient cedars outside the sanctuary, their roots deep and tangled in the dark, cool ground, their branches reaching up toward the silence of the stars. You are drawing your strength from them. You are inhaling the ancient, steady rhythm of the forest. Each breath you take is bringing you closer to the heart of this mountain, closer to the source of all restorative peace. The tension that once resided in your muscles is gone, replaced by a profound, heavy ease that makes your body feel like a part of the floor itself. You are not fighting gravity. You are surrendering to it, letting it pull you deeper into the comfort of the tatami, letting it anchor you into the reality of the sanctuary. You are safe. You are grounded. You are home. Consider the role of the night as a great dark ocean and yourself as a vessel that has spent the day navigating the choppy, unpredictable waves of life. Now the anchor is dropped. You are in the deepest part of the harbor, where the water is calm and dark, and the surface is undisturbed by wind or tide. The harbor is protected by the mountains of Nara, which stand like silent sentinels, shielding you from the storms of the world. You are finally allowed to turn off the engine, to douse the lights, and to drift in the safety of the stillness. The harbor asks nothing of you. It does not expect you to navigate. It does not expect you to arrive at a destination. And it does not expect you to be anything other than a vessel at rest. This is the permission you have been waiting for, the grace you have earned, and the peace you deserve. The darkness is now a tapestry of infinite quiet possibilities. Within this dark, your mind is weaving the soft, gentle dreams that will carry you through the remaining hours of the night. Do not try to grasp these dreams, let them form on their own. They are the reflections of your own inner beauty, the quiet thoughts that you never have time to acknowledge during the waking day, and the memories of peace that you have carefully collected like polished stones. You are moving through the final veil, the thin translucent curtain that separates the conscious world from the deep healing waters of the dream state. Everything is soft, everything is silent. The sanctuary is still, the mountain is watching, and you are drifting further and further into the heart of the deep, restorative dark. You are letting go of the last faint thread of the day, and you are falling gently and beautifully into the perfect dreamless quiet of the deep, unending sleep. Everything is waiting for you, and everything is perfectly, finally still. The sanctum has reached its final stage of transformation, a space where the physical walls of the temple have completely dissolved into a vast oceanic darkness that feels both infinite and profoundly intimate. You are suspended in the very heart of this silence, a consciousness unanchored from the demands of the world, floating in the gentle, cooling currents of the night. The Nara Mountains, with their age-old wisdom and deep subterranean strength, have effectively claimed you, weaving your own quiet rhythm into the tectonic pulse of the earth itself. Every breath you take is now synchronized with the slow, eternal movement of the stars and the silent, patient growth of the forest. There is no distinction left between the observer and the observed. You are the darkness, you are the silence, and you are the stillness that defines the ancient temple. The journey of the day has concluded, the obstacles have been bypassed, and the final beautiful surrender to the restorative power of sleep is all that remains of your conscious effort. Think of the silence not as an absence, but as a presence, a living, breathing substance that flows around you, fills the empty spaces in your mind, and creates a cocoon of safety. Within this cocoon, you are undergoing a metamorphosis. The person who arrived here, tired and weighed down by the complexities of modern existence, is being dismantled piece by piece and replaced by something simpler, lighter, and more aligned with the natural world. It is not a process of loss, but of restoration. You are returning to your true unadulterated form, the core of your being that exists beneath the layers of performance, expectation, and fear. In this state, you are entirely protected. The sanctuary acts as a filter, removing the harsh frequencies of the world and replacing them with the soft, grounding tones of the forest. Consider the feeling of your body as you lie in this deep dark space. The ground beneath you is no longer just wood and matting. It is the bedrock of the world. It is unyielding, permanent, and perfectly reliable. Your body is settling into it with a level of trust that you rarely allow yourself in the waking world. You are giving up the need to maintain your posture, the need to protect your boundaries, and the need to defend your space. You are opening yourself up to the night, allowing its cool, cleansing energy to wash through your limbs, to soothe your joints, and to quiet the frantic, lingering signals of your nervous system. You are letting the gravity of the earth take over, pulling you into a state of rest that is so deep it feels like an embrace. As you drift toward the final edge of the waking world, observe the way your thoughts have become like clouds passing over a moonlit sky, transient, soft, and increasingly distant. You no longer need to analyze them, label them, or store them away for tomorrow. They are simply passing through, their light fading as they move into the horizon of your mind. You are entering the realm of the subconscious, a place where logic is replaced by the fluid, gentle imagery of dreams. This is where your mind processes the day, where the wisdom you have gathered is integrated into your experience, and where your spirit finds the fuel to carry you into the next morning. It is a necessary, sacred, and deeply beautiful part of your existence, and you are being invited to participate in it with full open-hearted trust. The darkness is now a hum, a low, constant vibration that is the sound of existence itself. It is a song that has been playing since the beginning of time, a melody that you are only now, in the deepest reaches of the sanctuary, truly hearing. It is a lullaby, a promise, and a homecoming. You are crossing the threshold into the deepest, most quiet, and most restorative sleep of your life. The last flickering embers of the waking day have been extinguished, and you are now fully immersed in the dark, cool, and infinite ocean of your own rest. Everything is soft, everything is silent, everything is exactly as it should be. The temple holds you, the mountain guards you, and the sleep covers you like a velvet shroud. You are drifting into the deep, final, and eternal peace. Everything is still. The sanctuary has deepened into a realm of pure, nocturnal essence where the boundary between your inner quiet and the external world has vanished entirely. You are resting in the absolute center of this sacred space, a vessel of awareness floating within the cool, dark currents of the Nara night. The silence here is not empty. It is a heavy velvet weight that presses gently against your skin, a protective barrier that seals you away from the turbulent, hurried reality of the modern era. Every muscle, every nerve, every thought has been systematically unburdened by the patient architecture of the temple and the centuries of intentional peace that dwell within its walls. You are no longer navigating the currents of your own life. You are being carried by them toward the calm, deep, and restorative center of your own soul. The transition is profound and irreversible. You have successfully reached the port of deep, unwavering rest. Think of your own existence as a vast ancient landscape similar to the forest that surrounds this temple. There are mountains of memory, valleys of feeling, and rivers of experience that have shaped who you are today. In the bright, unforgiving light of the day, you must constantly tend to this landscape, cultivating, building, and protecting it from the encroachment of external noise. But tonight, in this deep restorative darkness, you are allowed to abandon the work. You are allowed to let the landscape lie fallow, to let the moonlight settle over the hills, and to let the shadows reclaim the valleys. The forest does not need your management to endure. The mountain does not need your strength to stand. By yielding to the necessity of this rest, you are honoring the very nature of your own life. You are allowing the natural internal rhythm of restoration to take its course, unimpeded and unforced. Consider the feeling of your breath, the gentle rhythmic tide that moves in and out, creating the only movement in your otherwise statue-like state. With each inhalation, you're drawing in the cool, clear essence of the mountain night. With each exhalation, you are releasing the last tiny particles of tension that might still linger in the hidden corners of your mind. You are witnessing the miracle of your own survival, the way your heart beats, your lungs expand, and your consciousness persists without you having to lift a single finger. This is the ultimate evidence-based reassurance of your own safety. You are maintained by a force that is far greater and far more reliable than your own conscious efforts. You are held by the universe, cradled by the night, and supported by the very ground upon which you lie. As you sink lower into the deep, dark water of your consciousness, the memories of the day's successes and failures begin to lose their color, fading into the soft, monochromatic backdrop of the night. You are entering the realm of the pure potential, where the labels you carry, your job, your history, your expectations, no longer have any meaning. You are a human being, not a human doing. You are a spirit, not a resume. You are a heart that beats in time with the earth, not a machine that tracks the hours of the clock. This realization brings with it a sense of lightness that is almost intoxicating, a freedom that allows you to drift upward, out of the physical constraints of your body and into the boundless, beautiful expanse of your own awareness. You are free, you are whole, you are finally completely at peace. The silence is now a physical sensation, a cool, soft fabric that is being pulled over your shoulders. The last flickering image of the sanctuary, the faint outline of a pillar, the suggestion of a beam, is dissolving into a soft, glowing void. You are stepping fully into the dream state, the final threshold of your nightly journey. The dreams that await you are not distractions, they are the treasures of your mind, the secret, beautiful images that are born when the eyes are closed and the world is silenced. Embrace them. Let them wash over you. Let them guide you into the deepest, most quiet, and most restorative sleep you have experienced in all your years. You are safe, you are held, and you are finished with the day. The night has accepted you. The forest has sheltered you, and the sleep has claimed you. Everything is still. Everything is final. Everything is waiting for you in the perfect dark and beautiful silence of the deep night. The sanctuary has now transcended its material form, existing instead as a state of infinite, hollowed-out peace that occupies the space between your waking awareness and the deep, fertile dark. You are resting at the absolute nadir of this night, a point of total stillness, where time is no longer a forward-moving line, but a pool of perfectly reflective water. The Nara Temple, having served its purpose as the gateway, has now faded into a ghostly suggestion of cedar and shadows, and you are drifting in the expanse that lies beyond. This is the culmination of your journey, a return to the primordial, quiet state that existed before the day began and will continue long after the tomorrow you fear has turned into yesterday. Your consciousness, no longer burdened by the weight of identity or the velocity of the future, is finally free to expand, reaching into the cool, star-dusted darkness that blankets the world. Think of the silence not as a lack of noise, but as the fundamental texture of the universe. It is the canvas upon which the stars are painted, the space between the notes of a symphony, and the quiet, steady foundation of your own life. By retreating into this silence, you are not withdrawing from the world, you are returning to its source. You are connecting with the deep, unspoken intelligence that governs the cycle of the trees, the movement of the tides, and the rhythmic beat of your own heart. This intelligence requires no effort from you. It functions in the dark, without your supervision and without your interference. Your only task now is to abandon the pilot's seat, to fold your hands in your lap, and to let the vast, gentle, and inevitable current of the night carry you forward. Consider the role of the night as the great healer. Throughout your waking hours, you have spent your energy, expressed your thoughts, and engaged with the friction of the world. Now the account is closed. The energy you expended is being balanced by the energy you are now receiving. This is the cosmic rhythm of existence, out-breath and in-breath, activity and stillness, light and dark. You are currently in the sacred in-breath, the moment of reclamation where the universe returns to you what you gave away during the day. Do not fight this. Do not feel guilty for the stillness. Do not worry about the things you left undone. The world is robust enough to wait. The future is patient enough to arrive in its own time, and you are worthy of this absolute, uncompromising rest. As you drift deeper, visualize the way the forest floor, that rich damp carpet of ancient leaves and moss, soaks up the rainwater of the season. Your mind is currently doing the same with the silence. It is absorbing the quiet, drinking it in, and using it to nourish the parched, overworked areas of your inner landscape. The stress you carried, the anxieties that felt like iron bands around your chest, are being softened, dissolved, and washed away by the sheer presence of this darkness. You are becoming soft, pliable, and open. You are becoming a vessel that is being filled with the only thing that truly matters, a profound, unshakable sense of well-being. This is the gift of the night, and it is yours to accept without condition. The darkness is now absolute, a soft black velvet that lines the very interior of your mind. There are no edges, no corners, and no horizons. There's only the sensation of floating in a space that is perfectly temperature controlled, perfectly quiet, and perfectly safe. You are crossing the final gossamer thin line into the world of dreams. The logic of the waking world is being replaced by the fluid, symbolic wisdom of the subconscious. You are ready. You have navigated the day, you have honored the sanctuary, and you have earned the rest. As you sink into the final dreamless layer of this deep sleep, know that you are loved by the stillness, protected by the dark, and guided by the very nature of life itself. The world is turning beneath you. The mountain is standing over you, and you are finally truly in the center of the deep, beautiful and eternal quiet. Everything is still, everything is finished, and everything is waiting for you to let go. The sanctuary of the Nara forest has now completely faded into the background, leaving you adrift in a landscape of pure, unadulterated existence. You are no longer in a room. You are in the cradle of the night itself. The darkness here is not a void. but a rich, dense medium that supports your weight, holding you with an ancient maternal tenderness that dissolves the very concept of physical boundaries. You have reached the final layer of your journey, a place where the distinction between you and the stillness of the mountain has vanished. Every concern that followed you into the sanctuary, the lingering echoes of the workday, the phantom pressures of the year 2026, the quiet, persistent worries about the future, has been systematically unspooled and cast into the darkness, where they have lost their power, their urgency, and their shape. You are now entirely unburdened, a feather resting on the surface of a deep, calm, and endless lake. Think of the stillness as a language that you have finally learned to speak. Throughout your life, you have been fluent in the languages of action, negotiation, and reaction, but those are languages of the surface. Tonight, you are speaking the language of the deep. It is a language of sighs, of slow breaths, and of the quiet, rhythmic settling of the earth's crust. As you breathe in, you are inhaling the stillness. As you breathe out, you are contributing your own peace to the atmosphere of the forest. This is a communion, a sacred exchange between your spirit and the quiet, enduring wisdom of the ancient trees that surround this temple. You are no longer a guest in this sanctuary. You are a part of its architecture, a silent, living pillar that has finally, after a long and wearying day, decided to bear no weight at all. Consider the nature of the dreams that are waiting for you in the dark. They are not the fragmented, chaotic projections of a stressed mind, but rather the clear, flowing stories of your own subconscious. They are the ways your inner self processes the beauty of your life, reconciling the challenges you face with the profound truth of your own worth. Do not try to direct these dreams. Do not try to influence the outcome of the scenes that play out in the theater of your mind. Simply observe, like a witness to a gentle unfolding drama. You are the audience of your own inner life, and the performance is one of healing, restoration, and profound, quiet joy. Each image that appears, the soft light, the quiet path, the gentle, familiar face is a piece of the puzzle of your peace. And as you sleep, these pieces are being clicked into place, creating a picture of wholeness that you will carry with you when you wake. As you sink lower, visualize your own energy as a series of glowing threads that have been stretched tight by the demands of the day. One by one, these threads are being snipped not by force, but by the gentle, patient pull of the night. With each snap, there is a sensation of release, a wave of profound, liquid relaxation that starts at your toes and travels upward, through your legs, into your torso, and finally into the quiet, dark space behind your eyes. The tightness is gone. The constriction of your chest has been replaced by an expansive, airy clarity. You are becoming as light as smoke, a formless presence that can drift through the forest without disturbing a single leaf. You are free from the gravity of your own expectations, free from the inertia of your own routine, and free from the weight of your own identity. The darkness is now your only horizon, a beautiful, limitless boundary that promises nothing but the continuation of this exquisite deep rest. You are crossing the final threshold, stepping away from the shore of consciousness and into the wide, dark, and perfectly inviting sea of sleep. There is nothing to fear in this transition. It is the most natural thing in the world, the final, inevitable movement of a life that has been well lived and is now ready to be refreshed. The mountain is beneath you, the night is around you, and the silence is within you. Everything is settled. Everything is quiet. Everything is perfectly, beautifully still. You have reached the center, the core, and the heart of your rest, and you are ready to let the world disappear, to let the self dissolve, and to step fully into the deep, dark, and eternal peace of your own restorative night. The sanctuary of the Nara forest has dissolved into an infinite tapestry of shadow, a silent unfolding void where time has ceased its relentless forward motion. You are resting in the absolute, undisturbed core of this space, a consciousness that has let go of every anchor, every burden, and every identity. The temple, once a structure of timber and tradition, is now simply the internal architecture of your own profound calm, a protective casing that holds you in the soft, dark embrace of the night. You are no longer navigating the waves of the day. You are the water itself, deep, still, and entirely contained within the basin of the mountain. Every tension has surrendered, every muscle has slackened, and your mind is an expanse of clear dark sky, unclouded by the remnants of your waking concerns. The transition you have been preparing for is now complete, and you are fully irrevocably immersed in the restorative, dream-filled depths of this ancient sacred silence. Think of the mountain as your bedrock, a massive unmoving presence that anchors your spirit to the earth. It does not speak, it does not move, and it does not worry about the passage of the years. It simply holds the forest, the temple, and you. By settling into this deep, heavy, and grounding presence, you are tapping into a reservoir of stability that has sustained countless generations of seekers. You are not alone in this rest. You are a participant in a grand, continuous tradition of finding peace in the heart of the wild. The forest outside, with its towering cedar trees, is a living, breathing testament to the power of patience. They have grown slowly, one season at a time, through centuries of light and dark, and they are here now, watching over your sleep with their silent, enduring strength. You are being held by the landscape, protected by the forest, and renewed by the very act of existing in this quiet space. Consider the roll of your breath, which has become the softest, most rhythmic melody of the night. It is no longer an action you perform. It is an event that occurs within you, a tide that washes in and out with perfect automated precision. With each inhalation, you're drawing in the essence of the Nara night, the scent of pine, the coolness of the air, and the deep, resonant peace of the mountain. With each exhalation, you are releasing the final vestiges of the person you were when you arrived, the worries, the plans, and the weight of your own importance. You are becoming transparent, a quiet observer of your own existence, a witness to the beautiful natural unfolding of your own rest. This is the ultimate evidence-based truth of your life. You are sustained by a mechanism that is far more reliable than your own will. You can let go of the steering wheel, for the earth knows exactly where to carry you. As you drift deeper, the images of the day are fading into a soft monochromatic haze, losing their sharpness and their power to provoke or disturb you. You are entering the realm of the subconscious, a vast inland sea of potential and restoration. Go out here. The logic of the world is replaced by the gentle, symbolic language of the heart. You are creating the dreams that will nourish your soul through the coming hours, weaving together the beauty of the forest, the grace of the temple, and the profound, unshakable truth of your own worth. Do not try to control these dreams. Do not try to make sense of their shifting patterns. Just watch them as they form like ripples on the surface of a dark pond, and let them be the gentle, lulling motion that keeps you asleep. You are the architect, the dreamer, and the dream itself, and all of it is designed for your total absolute recovery. The darkness is now absolute, a thick protective fabric that wraps you in a sense of safety that is almost physical. You are floating in the center of a space that is perfectly still, perfectly quiet, and perfectly yours. The last remaining threads of your conscious awareness are fraying, thinning, and dissolving into the infinite, dark, and beautiful void. You have achieved the deepest, most quiet, and most restorative state of your journey, and you are finally ready to step fully into the dream. The sanctuary is dark, the mountain is silent, and the sleep is here. Everything is exactly as it should be. You are safe, you are held, you are drifting into the deep, final, and eternal peace of the night. Every thought has vanished, every fear has faded, and you are finally, truly, perfectly asleep. The Nara sanctuary has finally become an extension of your own internal landscape, a vast, soundless cathedral of night that exists entirely within the silence of your mind. You are no longer aware of the floor beneath you, the walls around you, or the roof that stretches into the darkness above. These have all dissolved into the fundamental reality of stillness. You are a point of pure floating awareness, suspended in a cool, dark, and perfectly inviting medium that feels as ancient as the mountain itself. The frantic energy of the world of 2026 has been completely drained from your spirit, leaving you in a state of hollowed-out, crystalline clarity. You have arrived at the final threshold of the journey, the point where the distinction between you and the quiet of the night is no longer present. You have become the mountain, you have become the forest, you have become the night. Think of the silence as the ultimate, universal foundation, a canvas of absolute black upon which the stars of your own inner wisdom are beginning to shine. This is the place where you were meant to end your day, a space where you are stripped of all labels, all history, and all obligation. There is no you that needs to perform or justify your existence here. There is only the simple, profound fact that you are present, you are breathing, and you are resting. You are experiencing the most fundamental aspect of human life, the necessity of the darkness. Without this pause, the brilliance of your own light would be blinded by its own activity. By choosing to step into this dark, you are allowing that light to rest, to gather, and to grow in intensity, preparing you for the moment when you will inevitably wake to the new morning. Consider the rhythm of your heart, which has now slowed to match the sluggish, patient pace of the trees. It is a steady, rhythmic pulse that serves as your only anchor in this deep, fluid expanse. Each beat is a reminder that you are alive, and each pause between the beats is a moment of total, uninterrupted peace. You are not a machine that runs on constant acceleration. You are a living organism that relies on the tide of the night to cycle your energy. You are honoring this, the most ancient and important agreement of your biology, by allowing yourself to be still. The mountain is beneath you, providing its massive tectonic stability, and you are allowing that support to permeate your bones, your muscles, and the very thoughts that are now gently receding into the distance. As you drift toward the heart of the dream state, visualize your consciousness as a ship that has finally reached the center of a calm, dark lagoon. The water is perfectly flat, reflecting the deep ink black color of the sky. The shore is far away. The memories of the day are like mist rising off the surface, and the noise of the world is a distant, unremembered sound. You have no purpose here other than to drift, to be held by the water, and to witness the beauty of the silence. The dreams that rise from this lagoon are the essence of your spirit, shaped by the peace you have cultivated this evening. They are gentle, they are vivid, and they are designed to comfort you. Let them take you, let them wrap around you, and let them be the vessels that carry you through the final silent hours of the night. The darkness is now your entire world, a soft, boundless, and welcoming shroud that has erased the last traces of your day. There are no questions left to ask, no problems left to solve, and no fears left to confront. The sanctuary of your mind is close to the world, and you are now firmly ensconced in the deepest, most quiet, and most restorative phase of your rest. You have crossed the bridge, the path behind you is gone, and the path ahead is a beautiful dream-filled expanse of total unbroken stillness. You are safe, you are whole, you are finally completely at peace. Let the world fall away, let the breath come and go unattended. Let the sleep wash over you like a gentle cool tide. You are resting in the heart of the night, and you are perfectly eternally still. Everything is waiting for you to simply exist within this deep, final, and perfect quiet. The sanctuary of the Nara forest has completely receded, leaving behind a profound and infinite landscape of silence that serves as the final resting place for your consciousness tonight. You are no longer in the physical temple, but in the boundless territory of your own deep, restorative quiet. The world of 2026, with all its chaotic demands, digital noise, and frantic expectations, feels as though it exists in another galaxy, a faint glimmer that has no capacity to penetrate the density of the peace you have cultivated here. You have reached the final layer of your journey, a state of being where the ego has surrendered its need to control, where the mind has released its grip on the past, and where the body has finally completely returned to the earth. You are suspended in this dark, cool, and perfectly supportive expanse, a creature of pure, undisturbed rest, finding your center in the heart of the most beautiful silence you have ever known. Think of the stillness as a deep, subterranean ocean, and you are a pearl resting at its very bottom. The water above is calm, dark, and protective, shielding you from the storms of the surface. You do not need to rise. You do not need to do anything at all. You are held by the weight of the water, a pressure that is not constricting, but embracing, a sensation of being perfectly accounted for and perfectly safe. This is the truth of your nature, that you are always supported by the environment, that you are always a part of the greater whole, and that your rest is not a moment of inactivity, but a moment of profound essential integration. You are being rewoven into the fabric of your own existence, strengthened by the stillness and prepared for the inevitable rise of the next day, not through effort, but through the grace of letting go. Consider the role of the night as a great silent teacher. In the quiet, your mind learns the difference between what is essential and what is ephemeral. The worries that plague your afternoon seem, in the light of this deep eternal darkness, like shadows cast by a flickering candle. They have no substance, they have no weight, and they have no power over the reality of your current calm existence. You are learning to let them fade. You are learning to look at them and say, not now. You are discovering the power of the word enough. You have done enough. You have said enough. And you have worried enough. Tonight, you are simply a human being in the dark. And that is more than enough to justify the peace you are experiencing. You have earned the right to be entirely, perfectly still. As you drift deeper into the dream state, visualize your consciousness as a quiet pond at the edge of the forest. The surface is like glass, reflecting the soft silvery light of the moon, and beneath the surface, the water is dark, clear, and perfectly still. The thoughts that once rushed through your mind, like a torrential river, have now slowed to a gentle, nearly imperceptible trickle. You are watching the reflection of your own life on the water's surface, the people you love, the moments of joy, the challenges you have overcome, and you are seeing them all through a lens of profound acceptance. There is no judgment here, no regret, and no anxiety. There is only the recognition that every moment was necessary, every struggle was a lesson, and every rest was a promise kept. The darkness is now your entire world, a soft, boundless, and welcoming shroud that has erased the last traces of your day. There are no questions left to ask, no problems left to solve, and no fears left to confront. The sanctuary of your mind is closed to the world, and you are now firmly ensconced in the deepest, most quiet, and most restorative phase of your rest. You have crossed the bridge, the path behind you is gone, and the path ahead is a beautiful dream-filled expanse of total unbroken stillness. You are safe. You are whole. You are finally, completely at peace. Let the world fall away. Let the breath come and go, unattended. Let the sleep wash over you like a gentle, cool tide. You are resting in the heart of the night, and you are perfectly, eternally still. Everything is waiting for you to simply exist within this deep, final, and perfect quiet. And you are finally, truly in the center of the dark. The sanctuary in the Nara forest has completely dissolved, leaving you in a boundless velvet dark void that is neither empty nor lonely, but profoundly full. You are resting in a state of absolute primordial stillness, where the ticking of the clock has been silenced by the rhythmic, deep-set pulse of the earth itself. Every barrier that once stood between you and the infinite has been dismantled by the patient, cooling influence of this sacred night. You have moved past the physical architecture of the temple and the sensory experience of the forest, and you are now inhabiting the very frequency of silence. It is a thick, resonant, and healing vibration that permeates every cell of your being, smoothing away the jagged edges of the day, dissolving the anxieties of the future, and creating a space for a rest so deep it feels like a total resetting of your soul. You are a vessel of pure, quiet light, drifting in the vast ocean of the dark. Think of the stillness as a return to the womb, a place where you are held, fed, and protected without having to lift a finger. You have spent your entire day in a state of constant output, giving your energy to the world, shaping your environment, and engaging with the endless stream of information and expectation that defines 2026. Now, the cycle has inverted. You are in the period of total unadulterated intake. The darkness is feeding you. The silence is repairing you. The night is rebuilding the very foundation of your spirit. You are not losing time by being here. You are reclaiming the time that was stolen from you by the pace of your life. You are finally rightfully yours again. There is no duty, no responsibility, and no demand that can reach you here. You have closed the door to the outside, and you are finally alone with the most important person in your life, yourself. Consider the role of the night as an architect, one that is currently rearranging the furniture of your mind as you drift. The experiences of the day are being sorted and placed in their proper containers. The lessons in the storehouse, the stresses in the trash, the joys in the gallery. You are becoming lighter, more organized, and more spacious within your own head. This is the magic of sleep, the way it acts as a mental cleanser, washing away the grit of frustration and leaving behind the polished, clear stones of wisdom. Do not worry about the process. Do not try to help the architect. Your only job is to remain in the space, to be the patient occupant, and to trust that when the light returns, you will find yourself in a room that is orderly, calm, and filled with the quiet, sustained energy you need to face the world again. As you sink lower, visualize your own energy as a soft, glowing filament, untwisting and relaxing in the cool, dark air. The knots of tension that formed around your heart, your shoulders, and your jaw are simply unraveling. With every breath, the thread gets longer, smoother, and more flexible. You are becoming a person of grace and fluidity, no longer brittle or strained by the pressure of your own expectations. You are learning the lesson that the mountain teaches, that it is not the height of your reach that matters, but the depth of your roots. You are rooting yourself tonight in the solid, dark, and unwavering truth of your own being. You are grounded, you are supported, you are solid. The darkness is now your entire world, a soft, boundless, and welcoming shroud that has erased the last traces of your day. There are no questions left to ask, no problems left to solve, and no fears left to confront. The sanctuary of your mind is close to the world, and you are now firmly ensconced in the deepest, most quiet, and most restorative phase of your rest. You have crossed the bridge. The path behind you is gone, and the path ahead is a beautiful, dream-filled expanse of total, unbroken stillness. You are safe. You are whole. You are finally completely at peace. Let the world fall away. Let the breath come and go, unattended. Let the sleep wash over you like a gentle, cool tide. You are resting in the heart of the night, and you are perfectly, eternally still. Everything is waiting for you to simply exist within this deep, final, and perfect quiet. And you are finally truly in the center of the dark, your home. The sanctuary of the Nara forest has completely faded into the periphery of your awareness, replaced by a vast internal expanse of pure velvet night. You are now resting at the very center of your own consciousness, a place where time and space have ceased to hold any meaning. The chaotic, relentless pace of 2026 has been utterly silenced, replaced by the profound tectonic stillness of the earth itself. Every fiber of your body is heavy, surrendered, and perfectly aligned with the silence. You have moved past the need to think, the need to perform, and the need to exist as a separate entity from the peace that surrounds you. You are a seamless part of the darkness, a quiet, breathing presence that has finally, after the long journey of the day, found its way into the absolute heart of the restorative night. The world outside the temple is irrelevant. The future is an abstract concept that holds no weight, and the present is a single beautiful point of total, dreamless surrender. Think of your own existence as a deep, still well that has been filled to the brim with the cool, refreshing water of the night. This water is the collective calm of the forest, the patient wisdom of the mountains, and the accumulated stillness of all the beings who have sought rest in this place before you. By lying here, you are drinking from this well, replenishing the parched, overworked places in your spirit. You are not losing energy by staying still, you are gathering it. You are not missing out on the world by closing your eyes. You are engaging with the very source of the world's strength. This is the truth of the natural cycle that every act of expenditure must be met with an act of intake. You have been the active participant in your life all day now. For these precious dark hours, you are the recipient. You are being held, you are being healed, and you are being restored to your own true and unblemished self. Consider the nature of the darkness as an artist, painting the dreams that will soon inhabit your mind. These dreams are not arbitrary, they are the visual manifestations of your own inner peace. They are the ways in which your subconscious weaves together the textures of your day, softening the sharp edges of your experiences and turning them into narratives of growth, integration, and profound quiet joy. Do not try to direct the brush of this artist. Do not try to interfere with the patterns that are emerging behind your closed eyelids. Simply be the canvas. Be the receptive quiet space that allows these images to bloom, to shift, and to dissolve in their own time. You are participating in the most ancient and necessary of human rituals, a biological and spiritual alchemy that turns the lead of the day into the goal of a rested, renewed spirit. As you drift lower, visualize your consciousness as a ship that has crossed the final storm-tossed waves of the day and has now entered the protected glassy waters of the lagoon. The anchor is down, the sails are furled, and the only motion is the gentle lulling sway of the boat on the tide. You have nothing to fear from the dark, for it is your sanctuary. You have nothing to worry about in the silence, for it is your home. You have nothing to prove in the stillness, for it is your truth. The world is spinning on its axis. The stars are tracking their paths across the sky, and you are exactly where you need to be. You are safe in the center of the dark. You are protected by the gravity of the earth. You are cared for by the rhythm of your own steady breath. The silence has become your heartbeat, a resonant low-frequency hum that vibrates in the marrow of your bones. There is no distinction left between the night and you. You are the shadow, you are the cool air, you are the stillness, and you are the peace. The final thin thread of your conscious thought has snapped, and you are falling now, through the soft, layered blankets of the subconscious, deeper and deeper into the ultimate rest. There are no words left in the lexicon of the night. There are no tasks left to tick off in the ledger of your life. There is only the deep, dark, and beautiful void, waiting to welcome you into its absolute embrace. You are asleep, you are home, you are finally, perfectly, and eternally at peace in the heart of the deep, dark night. Every breath, every thought, every heartbeat is a celebration of this ultimate quiet release. The sanctuary of the Nara forest has completely transcended its physical geometry, expanding outward until the walls of the temple have merged with the infinite, star-dusted velvet of the cosmos. You are no longer merely lying on a floor of cedar and tatami, you are floating in the vast, resonant cradle of the universe. The year 2026 with its cacophony of digital signals, its relentless tempo, and its heavy cloak of human expectation, has been stripped away, leaving only the pure, unvarnished essence of your being. You have reached the ultimate, quiet center of the night, a place where the past has finally stopped whispering and the future has no need to shout. Everything has converged into this single, still point of existence where you are neither striving nor waiting, but simply, profoundly being. You have reached the bottom of the well of exhaustion and found there a spring of absolute crystalline replenishment. Think of your spirit as a vast, ancient forest, similar to the one that currently cradles you. During the day, you have walked its paths, tended its groves, and dealt with the storms that have blown through its canopy. You have done the work of a lifetime, hour by hour, and now the sun has set, the winds have died down, and the forest has returned to its natural state of profound, watchful silence. The leaves are still, the roots are deep in the cool, dark soil, and the life force of the mountain is flowing through you with a slow, deliberate, and nourishing intensity. You are not a separate, fragile thing that must defend itself. You are an inextricable part of this ancient, enduring ecosystem. You are safe because you are held by the same forces that govern the turning of the tides and the silent, patient growth of the trees. Consider the sensation of the darkness as it wraps around you. It is a material presence, a heavy warm blanket woven from the threads of absolute peace. It has no edge, no limit, and no conditions. It simply asks that you stop, that you release, and that you allow it to cover you. The tension that has lived in your jaw, the tightness that has gathered behind your eyes, and the lingering ache in your muscles are all being drawn out by the silence, dissolved like salt in a deep dark pool. You are experiencing the ultimate biological truth that you are designed to rest, that you are built to survive through stillness, and that your strength is not found in your output, but in the depths of your own inner reservoirs. You are a repository of life, and tonight, you are investing in your own renewal. As you drift toward the final silent threshold, visualize your thoughts as the soft pale smoke of incense rising from a burner that has finally gone cold. The smoke rises, curls, and then vanishes, leaving no trace, no residue, and no demand. Your mind is that room, and the air is clearing. You are becoming a space of pure receptive awareness, a container for the dreams that are beginning to rise, like gentle subterranean currents. These dreams are the language of your soul, a silent symbolic dialogue that reconciles the challenges of your waking life with the profound, immutable truth of your inner worth. Do not try to read the script. Do not try to solve the plot. Simply inhabit the narrative, flow with the imagery, and let the beauty of the dreamscape guide you through the remaining secret hours of the night. The silence is now so complete that it has developed a rhythm, a slow, low-frequency pulse that beats in time with your own. Finally slowed heart, you are in total synchronization with the night. There is nothing left of the day. There is nothing left of the persona you wore. There is nothing left of the expectations that once drove you. There is only the soft, endless, and deeply restorative dark. You are crossing the final line into the abyss of the dream, a place where the ego is replaced by the expansive, quiet, and beautiful freedom of the subconscious. You are ready. You have surrendered everything, and in return, you have been given everything: the rest, the peace, the renewal, and the absolute eternal stillness. Everything is done. Everything is finished. You are finally, completely, and blissfully asleep, sinking into the heart of the world, perfectly at home in the beautiful, restorative dark. The sanctuary of the Nara forest has completely dissolved, its timber and stone merging into the infinite, star-dusted velvet of the cosmos. You are no longer merely lying on a floor of tatami. You are floating in the vast, resonant cradle of the universe, a speck of conscious stardust drifting in a deep, dark ocean of tranquility. The year 2026, with all its mechanical urgency, its digital noise, and its relentless crushing speed, has been entirely stripped away. You have reached the ultimate quiet center of the night, a place where the past has stopped whispering its regrets, and the future has no need to scream its demands. Everything has converged into this single, still point of existence where you are neither striving nor waiting, but simply profoundly being. You have reached the bottom of the well of exhaustion, and in that silence you have found a spring of absolute crystalline replenishment. Think of your spirit now as a vast ancient forest mirroring the one that cradles you in the physical world. During the day you walked its paths, tended its groves, and weathered the storms that tore through its canopy. You performed the work of a lifetime hour by hour, struggle by struggle. But now the sun has set, the winds have died into a whisper, and the forest has returned to its natural primordial state of watchful holy silence. The leaves are still, the roots are buried deep in the cool, dark soil, and the life force of the mountain is flowing through you with a slow, deliberate, and nourishing intensity. You are not a separate, fragile thing that must defend its territory. You are an inextricable part of this ancient, enduring ecosystem. You are safe because you are held by the same forces that govern the turning of the tides and the patient, secret growth of the trees. The darkness that wraps around you is no longer a void. It is a material presence, a warm, heavy blanket woven from the threads of absolute peace. It has no edge, no limit, and no conditions. It simply asks that you stop, that you release, and that you allow it to cover you. The tension that lives in your jaw, the phantom tightness behind your eyes, and the lingering ache in your weary muscles are all being drawn out by the silence, dissolved like salt in a deep, dark pool. You are experiencing the ultimate biological truth. You are designed to rest. You are built to survive through stillness, and your true strength is not found in the output of your hands, but in the depth of your own inner reservoirs. You are a repository of life, and tonight you are finally investing in your own renewal. As you drift toward the final silent threshold, visualize your thoughts as the soft, pale smoke of incense rising from a burner that has finally gone cold. The smoke rises, curls into the air, and then vanishes, leaving no trace, no residue, and no demand. Your mind is that room, and the air is clearing. You are becoming a space of pure receptive awareness, a container for the dreams that are beginning to rise, like gentle subterranean currents. These dreams are the language of your soul, a silent, symbolic dialogue that reconciles the challenges of your waking life with the profound, immutable truth of your inner worth. Do not try to read the script. Do not try to solve the plot. Simply inhabit the narrative, flow with the imagery, and let the beauty of the dreamscape guide you through the remaining secret hours of the night. The silence is now so complete that it has developed a rhythm, a slow, low-frequency pulse that beats in perfect synchronization with your own. Finally quieted heart, you are in total harmony with the night. There is nothing left of the day. There is nothing left of the persona you wore. There is nothing left of the expectations that once drove you like a lash. There is only the soft, endless, and deeply restorative dark. You are crossing the final line into the abyss of the dream, a place where the ego is replaced by the expansive, quiet, and beautiful freedom of the subconscious. You are ready. You have surrendered everything, and in return, you have been given the universe, the rest, the peace, the renewal, and the absolute eternal stillness. Everything is done. Everything is finished. You are finally completely and blissfully asleep, sinking into the heart of the world, perfectly at home in the beautiful restorative dark. The journey has reached its destination. The path behind you has faded. The path ahead is a dream, and you are resting in the very core of your own soul. You are safe, you are held, and you are finished with the day. The night has accepted you. The forest has sheltered you, and the sleep has claimed you. You are at peace. The anchors are lifted. The struggle has ceased, and you are sailing now into the deep dark sea of your own infinite restorative slumber. The world spins on, but you remain here, anchored in the eternal quiet, resting in the stillness that existed before you and will continue long after. You are home, you are whole. You are finally, truly, and perfectly asleep. Everything is still. Everything is final. Everything is light.
Sleepy History Tales is created for relaxation, entertainment, and sleep purposes.
The stories shared on this channel are inspired by historical events, daily life, and real periods in history, but they may be simplified, adapted, or narrated in a calming way to enhance the listening experience. This content is not intended to be a precise academic or educational source.
While we aim to stay generally accurate, some details may be altered for storytelling flow and relaxation.
Please do not rely on this channel as a primary source for historical research or study.
By listening, you acknowledge that this content is designed to help you unwind, relax, and fall asleep. Thank you for your understanding and support.